Oh god. Hello? Hi. Hiya. Hiya. Hello. Hello. Let me... I forgot to put this on. Hold on. 1 second. There we go. Hi! Hello! Happy Thursday, everybody. The week's almost over. But hi! Welcome to another episode of, Umineko Naku Koro. Hi! Let's go through our greetings first and foremost. Welcome back to another day on the Can Express. Welcome in Waddles, welcome in Wolfen, welcome in Fable, welcome in T, welcome in Zen, welcome in. I think you guys are having a great day. I'm so sore. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna pass away. I went to the gym today, and I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my knees. I'm gonna be so sore tomorrow, but it'll be worth it. I'm doing it for the idols. It's what the idol girls from Gakumas would want. Yeah, I'm getting buff. I'm gonna become super buff. Maybe some of the icy hot. Yeah, I do have those actually. I do have the icy hot patches. So I'll probably put some of those on my legs when I sleep. So make sure my poor body heals itself before I go back to the gym in like a couple days. Cause I'm sleepy. Like I'm like so like. Dramatic pause. I'm so tired. I don't know what I'm saying. I closed Twitter. I forgot what I was saying as I was scrolling Twitter. My bad habits once again. The Twitter.com has got me. That's my dramatic pause. I need the dramatic pause. My dramatic pause, which was literally just me forgetting my train of thought. Close Twitter only to open up Scab. You're so fucking right. That's right. Planet Fitness is cringe, but you might get a... I actually go to Planet Fitness. It is nearby and cheap. It's a little more expensive because me and my roommate split the cost of it, but we get like the premium one that lets you bring a guest in, so we just split that the cost. So it's not that bad, but it is not bad at all. It's always good to... Yeah, that's another thing is just like, it holds me accountable to bring my roommate with me because I know our asses are not motivated enough to go on our own. So, we just hate it. Would be using this, it's been closed since year old. Ugh. Yeah, the station also has a gym, but I don't like using it because it's like, got like, so it's like, literally just like a room, and like 2 out of the 3 walls are just like glass, and I don't want people watching me while I work out that aren't also working out. I'm like, no thank you, don't look at me. Like, absolutely not. No thank you. Yeah, it's just awkward. It's awkward. I don't want people watching me work out while I'm like... I don't want my coworkers seeing me work out as well. Bad. I feel like you're an exhibit or something. Yeah, that's the main thing. Is I'm like, I don't really like that. I don't want people watching me work out. It's kind of awkward. And I'm like, I also was just like, I don't want to interact with my coworkers more than I have to. It's just like that. It's just like that. But yeah, I'm so excited to read more Umineko. We're gonna get Shan and Cannon out of there. We need to get them out of there so bad. They need to get out. We're gonna get them out of there. Oh. Let's see. Fuck! I forgot my computer reset while I was at the station today. Been doing alright, it's been going pretty well. Ooh! It's always good to get back into it. My fucking cookie clicker session! No! Stop! Stop judging my Steam notifications! Leave me alone! I have to win! I mean, it's not like I need to actively play it. I usually just like AFK with it open. Ah! That's so loud. Pop, 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 pop. I got my projector on. But yeah, last week we had a lot of Shannon time. How badly do you think we're gonna want to murder George today? Do you think we're actually gonna get back to Battler and Beatrice flirting with each other? I miss them. I really miss whatever the hell they got going on there. I look at them and I'm usually like not like super into like, I'm not super into het ships usually. Galvanized square steel beam acquired. What do you mean? What? Okay, Zen, you're a youngster. What the fuck is the galvanized square steel beam thing going around? I've been seeing it and I'm like, what the fuck are you kids talking about? What the fuck are you guys talking about? What are the kids talking about nowadays? What? What do you mean? I don't know what the kids are talking about. The kids, I'm out of touch with the kids. The kids should read Umineko Naku Koro ni. I think the kids should watch the Higurashi anime and get traumatized. I think that's really... Can I post a link in chat? Maybe. You can try it. If not, you can always post it in media share in the Discord. We do have there you go. Okay, I'll watch this after stream, so I'll be enlightened, I suppose. I'll learn about it. The whole channel is that? Are you serious? I feel like every time I interact with young people things, I feel so old. I just want to mind my business. Oh fuck, I forgot to turn my lights off. No more light allowed. This is an ambient experience. This is the Sacred Book Club. We're not allowed to have overhead lights. Only my lamp next to my desk. Madame Perry Punk is obsessed with... I mean, Perry is like a child. To me. To me, at least. A young whippersnapper, if you will. Oh, shut up! Shut up! Don't call me a fucking boomer! You'll all see. Yeah, we're not that old to be boomers. You know what they say? The kids are saying nowadays. You know what they're saying now is that women over 30 in demand. In demand right now, apparently. I can't believe you've been around since the first Egyptian pyramids. Now hold on. How old do you think I am? Zen? How old do you think I am? I'm like, at max, like, 5 years older than you, probably. No! I'm not 29! I'm not 29! I'm eternally 25. Forever and ever. I can never be over the age of 25. I'll be turning 25 this year as well. I'm still cool and hip in my 20s, I'll have you know. Can't believe this. I'm eternally... I'll have you all know, I'm eternally 25. You're younger and that Cam is a ragged old man. Cam is 30. Because it's like, Cam is the oldest, and then it's like... me... Fable... Parfait... Huey... No, Huey is older than... I'm pretty sure Huey is older than Parfait. Parfait's a few months older than me. Haha, child. I'm like a year older than Parfait. Ish. You likely can challenge Cam in age. Oh. It's okay. I'm still young. I'm still hip. I just don't keep up with I don't keep up with the youngins' lingo anymore. You're 24. You serious? So that makes you feel interesting? It's a good thing I don't age, and I'm definitely 25, and definitely not older than that at all. Never. I will never age. Eternally 25, just the right age. Perfect age. Okay, 28-year-old. Now you listen here. Shut up! Shut up! I'm eternally 25. I don't exist. I'm a little guy on the internet. I'm digital. I don't exist. And I'm eternally 25. I'm not even 28. Stop guessing. Old man. Stop calling me old. Stop. I don't want to hear this. For someone who's only a few years younger than me. Don't worry, Zen. When you turn 25, I'm going to start calling you ancient and then see how you feel about it. It's okay, I'm just wizened. I have experience. I don't know, I'm just a mature adult, I'll have you know. I'm just a cool and mature adult, you know, I'm sophisticated and shit. Bitches over the age of 25 in demand. I'm just saying that you have the fountain of youth. So I am also eternally young. I am also eternally young and cool. But not, you're not as eternally young and cool as me. I don't know. I'm cool. I've got it all. Every bitch by the age of 25 should have at least 20 anime boyfriends or girlfriends, depending. Happy Pride. A job and bills to pay. Let's see. What else should you have by the age of 25? Lost your will to live. You don't need to have a will to live by the age of 25. Yeah, you don't need that when you turn 25. You need at least 6 unfinished games in your Steam library that you started but have not finished. At least 100 unplayed games in your Steam library as well. At least 5 or 6 scab requests. I don't know, there's a big checklist of things, you know, it's like turning 21. I'm just fresh and cool. I'm just cool and sophisticated. I'm a cool, sophisticated adult, I'll have you know. I do things like go to the gym and shit. And make dinner. The salmon I cooked turned out dry, by the way, and I'm kind of pissed off about it. God hates me for my crimes. I almost choked on it when I was in my loading screen. I was eating my salmon. I didn't even cook it that fast. I cooked it for like 40 minutes. I think I just overcooked it. And it's funky my own dusty. No! I'm fresh and cool. Baked salmon wrapped in parchment paper. I had baked, so I do mine in like aluminum foil. And I bake it for like, I baked it for like 40 minutes. It was really good. It was really tasty, but it was a little dry. Piece of moisture usually doesn't require extra oil. Yeah. 40 minutes, yeah. It just didn't cook fast. It was slightly frozen, to be fair. Yeah, I kind of forgot about it in the oven while I was setting up stream. I kind of forgot about it, you know. Listen, age does not cure me of ADHD. Defrost you fish? It was like when we got it from this. I literally bought it at the store like 20 minutes before I put it in the oven. It was just like partially frozen. Ugh. Ugh. Anyways, do you guys want to play Umineko? Also, the store didn't have miso paste today, and I was so sad about it. I want my miso paste. No, yeah, they didn't have miso paste. I was gonna do like miso salmon, but they didn't have it at the store I went to. So I'll have to go to the actual Asian grocery to get it. I was gonna eat that vicariously through you. It's okay. I'm gonna go get some this weekend, I think. I think this weekend or next week sometime I'll probably pick some up. I'll probably go to the other store that I know has it. We just went to a store that we don't usually go to for food. So I wasn't sure of what they had, and I couldn't find the miso. If they did have it, and I just didn't see it. But I'm gonna make some next week, I think. I'm gonna make some miso dishes, I think. I'm gonna try natto one of these days. I actually really like the texture of natto. It's like sticky and gross, but like in a good way, you know? It's kind of like slimy. It's like how I feel about natto, he says. Yeah, natto. Leave me alone, I can't pronounce T's. Natto. 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 Listen, I can't help it. I can't help it. Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me. I'm small. I feel like I was in Winnie's stream and Fable said something and people said nice things about me, so my head got a little bigger and now it's back to a normal size. Thanks you guys for keeping me keeping me humble, I guess. Made a Thai tea today. It was really good. Thai tea is so good. That's so good. It's so good. I really like Thai tea. My favorite is I really like I'm a milk tea girly personally, but like I really like my milk tea with honey and lavender. It's my go-to milk tea if you're curious, or like lavender and vanilla. I'm a lavender enjoyer. I also like matcha. It's my usual. When I go to the coffee place, I like I usually get like matcha. It's very good. It's very tasty. I've been trying to like eat out less and get less treats though, so I haven't had a bubble tea in like a week and a half. I'm only allowed next Sunday. Next Sunday I'm allowed to have a treat. Also, the bakery has this really, really tasty ube latte. And it's just so good. It's so good. It's like sweet and it's like creamy. It's perfect. It's everything I need in like a drink. I love you, ube. I wasn't an an ube enjoyer for a long time. For a long time, I wasn't an ube enjoyer. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to try it. I don't know. And then I tried it. I was like, wait, this shit good. You should try making it at home yourself. I should. I really should. That's a lot of work though. Maybe I will. I'm not allowed to buy more teas until I've gone through the ones that I've already gone through though. Because I have a lavender milk tea. I have some lavender milk tea packets I'm still trying to get through. I was thinking about making the lavender milk tea packets into shortbread though, so. Big fan of taro and matcha, but Kai and Perry don't like the earthy taste. Kai and Perry don't enjoy joy. They don't have a sense of whimsy, and I don't think they ate enough grass as a child to understand the earthy taste. The earthy taste is all about eating grass as a child and making potions in the backyard. It's that kind of whimsy that ube gives me. And matcha as well. It's about the whimsy, you know. Ugh. Ah. You ate sand as a kid once? See, I don't eat sand. I'm not really a big sand enjoyer. I don't like sand. I don't like the texture. I don't like the taste. What was the thing that I liked? Plastic? I liked to chew on plastic as a child. That was my cool thing that I liked to do. I would chew on things. Also hit people with things. It was very violent. I would always hit my... So I had like one of the... So do you guys know... Back in the day when like anime was first coming over in like the 90s, early 2000s, they released a bunch of like merch. They don't do this. They don't do English releases of goods anymore. But they did like the kids' toys. So I had a Sailor Moon toys. And I would hit my brother with them, and then my mom would take it away for a week, and then I would get it back and immediately hit him with it again. So that's the kind of sibling I was. I was a menace to society. I would wield it like a sword. You still chew on plastic? I love chewing on straws. That's my big crutch that I still have. Chewing on straws is the big one for me. And pens. I used to not as much pens lately. I used to chew on pens a lot in school. And then I would accidentally break the pen and inhale some of the ink. But I turned out fine. Ate ants once as a child before I ate raisins, and now raisins are just ant textured. I feel like ants would be pretty tasty, you know? They're kind of crunchy. I've never eaten an ant, but I think it would be good. They're very bitter. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could cook them right. What are the medicinal properties of eating ants? Switch cartridge bitter. Maybe it was the breed of ant. Ants are rich in antioxidants, you guys. Whoa! There's a bunch of medicinal properties of eating ants. Okay. Apparently it helps with, like, heart disease as well. If I want to eat antioxidants, I'm going to eat fruits, not ants. Why not, hater? You wouldn't eat an ant? You've got to get on that carnivore diet. Eat some ants. Have you guys seen those diets where people are like, yeah, here's my carnivore diet where I only eat meat and animal products, and it's like the most disgusting thing you've ever seen? They're like, yeah, I just eat a stick of butter for a snack. Raw butter and unseasoned steak. No! That's so gross. Seasonings are so good for you. It's not... like, seasonings don't really have too much for going on in terms of, like, caloric or, like, vitamin value. But they have heart value. They're good for the soul. Seasonings are good for the soul. It's like a soul medicine, you know? I just love... That's like another thing. Carnivore diet. I think adding seasoning ruins their carnivore diet. That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. Vegetables evil or some shit. It's okay. They can... The whole thing with that is so funny because, like... It's okay. You can just say you don't like eating vegetables. Because, like... The thing with a lot of the carnivore diets I've also seen is, like, a lot of them, like, still do stuff like drink coffee and, like, energy drinks, and I'm like, those aren't meat! Those aren't meat! What are you doing? I'm like, at least stick to your bit if you're gonna do an insane diet like that. Because, like, vegetarianism I can understand, because, like, some people just don't like the texture of meat, and that's perfectly fine. But, like, vegetables? Those are good. They're tasty. They're good for you. Any vegetable is good with a little bit of salt and pepper, even. Some of my... Generally, those people have a hate boner for vegetables because our ancestors didn't eat them, so they're obviously bad for us. That is that a lot of them did, but like they just weren't farmed. You just find them in the wild. Like back in the day, people were like, the hunter diet, the hunter carnivorous diet. And I'm like, you do know that we are hunter gatherers as a species, correct? You do know this, right? Like, you do know that you can like do things like gather like nuts and like berries and fruits and vegetables in the wild. You can gather them. They're in your forest. There's endless uninformed idiots around right up there next to flat earthers and pyramid deniers. That's true. That's true. I also like... Cause like if you're gonna do like a diet like that and be like, they didn't have this back in the old days, back in the caveman days, like you would still eat fruits and vegetables. You would still eat them. You would still eat fruits and vegetables. You just wouldn't eat as many grains. The grains are the big thing that came with modernization, like things like wheat and rice. Are like one of those things where it's like, oh, maybe we didn't have meat, maybe we didn't have like rice and wheat back in the day because like people didn't have farming methods back then. People didn't have like the farming, the agriculture. I just can't believe it. It's so messed up. It's like I see these like weird fad diets and I'm like, they have to be like faking it, right? Drying and preserving fruits and vegetables, the whole reason we have spices in the first place. Yeah, exactly! Because people would dry them. Drying fruit is like one of the like oldest preservation, like drying fruits and vegetables is one of the oldest preservation methods. It's the same with like, it's the same with preserving like meat. Like people would dry and preserve meat that way with like salt and all of that. That's why salt was so in commodity, was because it could make your food last longer if you prepared it correctly. This guy that did the carnivore thing for a year and he almost died from drinking a little bit of apple cider. Really? That's funny. That's actually kind of funny though. They couldn't be helped in storage long term normally, so they had to be dried in order to stay good. Yeah, exactly. I actually really like learning about food preservation. That's it's a really good like to like keep like food from going bad as quickly. I really I think there's a video that there's someone who shows up on my YouTube short feed when I'm doom scrolling on YouTube through the never-ending YouTube algorithm is they like freeze dry a lot of food, and they have like a big like industrial freeze dryer, and they're just like, yeah, here's like all the benefits of having a freeze dryer. Here you go. And they're like, yeah, you can like keep food better. You can like keep food better, and it's like so much like you keep the nutritional value as much. You keep more nutritional value, and then you can like a lot of things. They like teach about like what things rehydrate well, and like what things that can actually be like used like on a daily basis and just like rehydrated. But like it's just like in powder form, so you can literally just have it for like years and it'll just be fine. Like, it's so cool. It's time. Hi Zeros, welcome in. There's some people that digestion carnivore helps them reset their digestive systems better. Yeah, I think if it has a medical reason, I think that it's perfectly fine. But people who are like, oh, this is the ideal way for our hunter society, I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy. I want you to try hunting some vegetables, perhaps? Maybe go hunt some vegetables. Maybe eat your veggies. Go eat your veggies, you toddler. Like, the genuine thing with that is just like, carnivore diet is just extreme paleo diet. Yeah. It's just like a more extreme version. Yeah, and that's like because like paleo also like it just includes things that are found in the wild, like fruits, vegetables, meats, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, and you could get those by hunting and gathering. That's like the peak of humanity. And then it just excludes grains, things like beans, legumes, that sort of thing, and dairy products. Kingdom Hearts is now on Steam for $70 total and kind of considering getting it. I think if you enjoy that type of game, it's good. I just could never get into it. All my friends were so obsessed with it in high school, and it kind of annoyed me because I was the only one not obsessed with it, so I was like, I guess I'll die. It's okay. I faked being into Kingdom Hearts for several years because all of my friends were into it, and then I'd only played like 2 games out of the entire franchise. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, so I'm down with it. That's me and my Final Fantasy 14 oopies. Yay! Yes, that's me. Me logging into the critically acclaimed MMO. I miss her. I probably won't be playing until Endwalker, or until Dawn Trail comes out, but just because I don't have the time right now in my schedule. But I think after sometime in July, I might stream MSQ, honestly. Or maybe I won't stream MSQ. Maybe I'll do like, I don't know. I'll do something with Final Fantasy XIV related when Dawn Trail comes out. MSQ, main story quests. It's the story of Final Fantasy XIV. I forget that non-Final Fantasy XIV people don't get that. Yeah. But wait, should we read Umineko, you guys? It's been 45 minutes. It's been 50 minutes, and I've just been talking about carnivore diet. But, like, the whole thing is just, like, the carnivore diet's just stupid. That's just, like, it. It's stupid unless you have an actual medical reason. Monster Hunter Wilds next year? I don't really play Monster Hunter, though. I'm not really a Monster Hunter enjoyer. I'm a fake Monster Hunter fan. I played a little bit of World, and I was like, nah, I don't think I will play this game anymore. And then I did not play any more Monster Hunter World. You've also been denying you're old? That's because I'm not old. I'm young and fresh and hip with the kids. Monster Hunter's 4 of them, but also very few. I just didn't get into it. It really, like... I'm just not good at games that require quick thinking and coordination. However, Zen, do you have a Switch? Zen, I forget, do you have a Switch? Do you have Nintendo Switch? Is that for everyone? Yeah, you have a Switch? You should get Fantasy Life when it comes out. That's gonna be that's my Monster Hunter game. It's so good. What game? Fantasy Life. It's a new game on the Switch. It's coming out in October. It is a game by the people who made by the same studio that makes the Professor Layton games. And it's basically like a kind of like a cross between like Rune Factory, Monster Hunter, and like Animal Crossing. Wasn't there a Fantasy Life on the 3DS? Yes, that's the original. That's the Fantasy Life on the 3DS. The original Fantasy Life. I played so there's releasing a new one for the Nintendo Switch. And you should all play it because it's gonna have online multiplayer. The other one only had local multiplayer, if I remember correctly. So like, I'm really excited to play online with friends. I want to go on little quests. Let's download and try it on the 3DS. Yeah. I know Parfait has been playing it on the 3DS recently. Yeah, I'll post here. I'll post the game page, the official site for the game. The new game looks so cute. We'll totally purchase a totally legit copy. It's okay, Zen, I'm loaning you my copy. But yeah, they have like different jobs. So there's only like 4 battle jobs. So you can have like there's like a knight, and then with like a sword and shield, there's like a great sword user, and then there's a ranged and magic user. And they all do different things. And then there's like the gathering jobs where you can go fishing, you can go mining, you can go wood cutting, you can farm. There's farming now. The farming is new. The farming is new, but it fits. It fits with the rest of it. There's also like alchemy and tailoring and cooking and blacksmithing and carpenter and artists. Also, they have like Animal Crossing-esque like town building, and it looks so fun. I'm so excited. Invite friends to your meticulously crafted island and work on resource gathering quests together. Yeah, so you can go go do quests with friends and go gather materials. It's kind of like Monster Hunter in the way that you can form a party and gather materials, but then you just bring it back to your Animal Crossing island. I'm really excited for it to come out. I'm gonna play a lot of it when it comes out in October. I'm probably gonna stream it a lot. I might actually stream it a lot and see. I want to stream the main story. It's just so good. I'm just so excited for it. Also, I actually really want to play, so I've actually never played any Professor Layton games other than the Ace Attorney crossover, so I really want to try it. But anyway, we should stop talking about this. I should stop talking about other games. I think we need to play Umineko Naku Koro ni. I keep getting distracted today. I'm just yapping a lot. The biggest fall event for the Ushirimo family was a family conference in October, but to Jessica there was another major event that came out before that, the school cultural festival. Jessica liked school. To her it was a place where she could let out the stress she built up from the rigid lifestyle she was forced to lead at home. For today's cultural festival, she had formed a group with her friends and had announced they'd perform some light music on a temporary stage. She prepared and practiced for this over and over until today and was always anxiously awaiting this day's arrival. But there was one thing that worried her. She looked at the clock. There was still a little time, but she felt uneasy. Would that person really come? After taking a single deep breath, her heart jumped when all her friends suddenly speaking in shrill voices. No way! He and his boyfriend is so awesome, isn't he? Rin's boyfriend looks really smart. Is it true that that guy's a glasses beast? No way, no way. My husband will be a pretty boy. It may not be like this for all girls, but at least at Jessica's schools, the cultural schedule is basically a boyfriend exhibition. Jessica didn't even have a boyfriend. She had many friends of the opposite sex, but no special, only one. Jessica was a little famous around the school, and everyone thought it'd be natural for her to be a fitting partner. Furthermore, her pride had led her to pretend that this was true. She'd somehow managed to keep them fooled until this year, but for various reasons she hadn't been able to escape this year's cultural festival. Pretty men, so true. Jessie, is your boyfriend here? What? No, looks like he's not here yet. Maybe he's busy with work. What kind of person is he? At least give us a hint. What kind of relationship? Huh? Oh god. Awesome. So he's a working man. Will he come in a suit? Of course he'll be wearing glasses, right? Hey, he actually doesn't exist, right? If you come clean out, we'd let you join us. Let's cry together through this year's cultural festival. No, he exists. He exists. I told you, he really exists. But Jessica's bitter smile is covered in cold sweat. It's starting to seem doubtful whether she really deceived her sharp-witted friends. Okay, then how about making a fake boyfriend and taking him with you? A fake? Who? I can't think of anyone who'd do that. Shannon's ridiculous plan surprised Jessica into hysterics. Even so, it's probably more realistic than the crazy methods running through her head about getting a boyfriend in a big rush before the cultural festival. For example, what about Cannon? Cannon? No way, no way. I'm sure Cannon has the work of the festival, and I don't want to bother him. Of course, I've already checked the schedule. Cannon has that day off. Why are you always so clever when it comes to stuff like this? No, wait. That'd be even worse if he's off. I can't pull him away from a precious day off just for my own vanity. If you don't pull Cannon away, he'll always be shut away by himself. So I think it'd be perfect if you could drag him out of his shell. You think so? No, but I feel bad. Then I guess you're out of options. How about meekly confessing to everyone that you don't have a boyfriend? Sure, it may be terribly embarrassing, but you'd only have to endure it for the short and yet long time before graduation. To a pair of lovers, there's no sweeter honey than the face of a single person with an inferiority complex. Shannon, you aren't really worrying for my sake, are you? You're just teasing me. Jessica wrestled about with Shannon, her eyes teary, but Shannon was unfazed, laughing with her usual smile. Yes. This is to get you back for making fun of me and George all the time. Listening to Shannon's comeback, the likes of which didn't happen even once a year, Jessica hugged her cushion and rolled about in her bed, pretending to faint in agony. She couldn't stand Shannon's smile, which looked so triumphant, but right now she was the only person Jessica could talk with. She could choke her to death with her cushion later. Is it really both so bad, my lady? It's a cultural festival, but also a chance for you to have fun with Cannon. Now that may be true, but no. Damn, Shannon. Yeah, she's kind of brutal. Jessica buried her face in her head in her favorite pillow to hide the fact that her face had grown bright red. As she grumpily chewed the fingernail on her thumb, it really was a reaction to be appreciated. Shannon and Jessica were of the same age, the same sex, and friends. And they both were right in the middle of puberty. They could never talk enough about love. That's why they could talk freely about these topics to each other. So Jessica had heard a lot about how Shannon and George's love was progressing, and Shannon had heard about a lot about what type Jessica liked and what kind of man she might be interested in. Heterosexuals. Rot. Judging by Jessica's reaction, it'd probably be rude for us to go precisely into these things were. However, the story won't get anywhere if we just have Jessica rolling around forever, so let's dive in. Jessica had been thinking about Cannon ever since she'd shown up. It's extremely rare for young men to visit Rakanjima, so maybe it's natural for Jessica, a girl in puberty, to develop an interest in Cannon. But if anyone said that, it would destroy the romantic ideals of a maiden's pure heart and love at first sight. Shannon had been with Cannon a long time at the orphanage, so she'd known him since before they started working. So Jessica had asked persistently about what his hobbies were, what his favorite food was, and what type of girl he liked. Even to Shannon, it was just clear that Jessica was infatuated with Cannon. Come on, isn't this a good chance to take Cannon on a date? But Cannon might also have someone he likes, so wouldn't it take badly if I made him go with me just to show off? People who aren't honest with themselves like you are. What was the word I learned from George? That's right, I think it was Sindora. Sindora! Apparently there'll be all the rage in a decade or so. I suppose this is like the 80s, right? Tsundere wasn't really a thing back then. Tsundere wasn't even really a thing in until the early 2000s. Literally, who else does Cannon know on this island? I mean, they don't live on the islands. They're only there for their shifts. Don't they live elsewhere as well? I'm pretty sure it mentions that they live off the island as well when they're on their off days. George is so incredible, managing to foresee future trends like that. Awesome. No, wait. Are you saying I'm living in the wrong decade? I give up. Took several days of wasted efforts, but in the end, Jessica agreed to the plan of having Cannon pretend to be her boyfriend. The good old pretending to be boyfriend, girlfriend. Yes, milady? Did you call me? Jessica regretted calling out at such a bad time. Cannon always looked sullen, but he had some bad days and some better days. Fortunately, this reaction was the former. All that confidence and effort she'd built up practicing in front of a mirror all night was wiped out in about 5 seconds. Jessica turned bright red and hung her head. when he saw that Canon sign. Jessica thought that he was exasperated with her, and her face went pale. I heard from Shannon. This is about having me go with you to the Skull Cultural Festival, right, milady? Huh? Nice one, Shannon. I mean, yeah. That's right, but, do you have any plans that day? I was strictly ordered by Shannon to work specially for you on that day, lady. I have never been to high school, so I don't really understand. But I hear it's a place where girls can be shamed if they don't have a boy with them. And I was given special orders to see that the daughter of the Ushirimiya family is in no way inferior to the common people. What? Shannon, I'll beat you to death later. Really? Was that really like the first case of like tsundere? Cause I suppose like the trope existed. Cause I do. So I was at the Idolmaster panel at ASIN, and it was Yayoi's voice actress was talking about how they wanted to get her to talk in a specific way. Because they were wanting her to try out for the role of Iori instead of Yayoi. And she didn't know what they were talking about because the word tsundere hadn't been invented yet. Asuka certainly popped. No, tsundere is like a 2000s term. It's only after like the early 2000s that like they actually like started the term became super popularized, if I remember correct. If my knowledge is correct. I suppose it could have been like an underground term, but then it got like more popularized as time went on. Cause like I feel like the early 2000s are when a lot of like the really, really popular tsundere characters started popping up. It's also like when Rie Kugimiya started really popping off. Cause like early 2000s had like Toradora, it had like the what are other ones? What are other popular tsunderes? It had Kagami from Lucky Star, all sorts of it had K-On! It was just like I feel like that's tsundere is such a word I associate so much with like early 2000s anime culture that I just can't believe that it existed before then. Jessica kept yelling him with a strange voice and a broken smile, like a tea kettle filled with boiling water. But I suppose it could be... Kanon watched this, he sighed again. Kanon wasn't an idiot either. He fully understood what Jessica intended by inviting him. But to be honest, playing along with Jessica's love game seemed like nothing more than annoyance. Kanon, you should be nice! However, Shannon had asked him over and over. He was deeply indebted to her, so he couldn't refuse. And that brooch was in his pocket, because this strange turn of events had been brought by the magic power residing in the brooch? Ridiculous. But he remembered what Shannon had sent to him that day. Could Shannon see something he couldn't? I don't understand Shannon's feelings. We are furniture, as if we could ever become anything more. It was a truly odd exchange between Jessica, who was still rambling in a strange voice, and Kanon, who sighed deeply. But I think it could be like, I feel like it could also be like a late 90s, early 2000s kind of term. I feel like it got popular sometime between like the 90s and early 2000s, probably when it first popped up. Jesse, someone's here, didn't you hear? Sorry. Who is it? All my friends gathered together. They were looking this way with hard-to-describe discussions, whispering to each other in small voices that weren't small anymore. My attempt to play dumb felt pretty transparent, even to me. Did I just say sorry? Who is it? Like I don't know who just showed up. No, it's useless. My mind's getting blank. Oh my god. Oh, look at his little outfit! Oh my god! Wait! Wait, his little, like... He's so... That's such a, like, cool outfit. What the heck? His little beret? His little button-up jacket? What are you wearing, King? You look like you walked right out of the early 2000s Gothic Lolita Bible. It's probably because the outfit came from the Gothic Lolita Bible. I think this is one of the outfits that is referenced. I believe, if I remember correctly, this outfit is mentioned in the Gothic Lolita Bible. So another fun fact about Umineko that I knew about beforehand is that a lot of the fashion of the characters in Umineko is inspired by the magazine Gothic Lolita Bible. And so a lot of Maria's outfit and like Lambda, Burn, even I think Beatrice's outfit was heavily inspired by like coordinates from like Lolita companies of the time and like Visual K. But I'll stop rambling and we'll read. No way, that's just boyfriend. He's so cute. Wait, he's real? No way, seriously. Just you traitor. He's incredible. He's younger? I've never heard he was younger. Where's just she's really into little kids? I don't like that phrase. Hey, aren't you late? I didn't know where the entrance was. Get in! Must apologize for my tardiness. Alright, his outfit looks really good on you. Shannon said normal clothes wouldn't do, so we went and bought this the other day. Does it look strange on me? That's not true. Shannon, when I get back, I'll promote you 2 levels. It feels like everyone here's a girl. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, isn't it? Come on, let's not hang around here. Let's go to the stage, okay? Because I'll be up pretty soon. Come on. Jessica seemed just as uncomfortable. The way Cannon's boy motor trend coat scared me the first time I read this. He's kind of got the style, though. He's kind of styling. It looked like being bathed in everyone's interested gazes with heart on her. When he saw Jessica's appearance, Cannon thought he might have made things difficult for her by coming. I get the feeling I'm getting in the way. Am I being a burden? I told you, no way. Please tell me it every time if I start getting in the way. Oh, he uses Boku? That's so cute! What the heck? I thought he would be an Ore type. Oh, I thought he would totally be like an Ore type. But he's a Boku? He said he uses Boku for his little bit, what, I forget what that's actually called. That's so moe. Wait, that's kind of moe. There's no way you'd get in the way. She calls her boyfriend Kun. What would you like me to do, milady? No way, she makes him call her milady like a butler. Oh, gee. No, you can't call me the lady today. Is that so? As you wish, Jessica-sama. Sorry, kid. Could you close your eyes for just 3 seconds? Yeah, just go. As you wish. She's gonna beat them up. Bang thunk. Yeah. Jessica's friend. And she's a freak. She's kind of freaky with it. By the time Cannon opened his eyes, a horrible tragedy had occurred in the room. Everyone had been driven into the walls, their arms and legs outstretched. Jessica slipped her brass knuckles back into her pocket before Cannon's eyes opened. She has brass knuckles? What? She brings those to school? Anyways, let's go over to the stage. Our term's coming up soon, so let's take a seat and wait for a bit. Because we've got to get ready. Go straight to the end here and you'll see a temporary stage. You'll know where to go. Please wait there. She pushed Cannon's back as he seemed to be having trouble moving himself and chased him out. Even though Cannon was confused by Jessica's attitude with her panicky state, which he'd never seen before, he'd followed her instructions and headed in the direction she'd indicated. After seeing him off with an awkward smile, Jessica slammed the door shut and yelled loudly. There you go, you saw it, right? You saw it, are you happy now? Sucks for you! Oh, I lost the bet. I was sure Jessie didn't have a boyfriend. Are you sure that was her boyfriend? I'm sure she's just abusing one of her servants, right? Oh, Jessie's boyfriend's incredible. Beatrice and Jessica hits her with a bean left hook. Yeah, that's real. Shut up. Come on, let's get ready. It's like the one meme where it's like Umineko and then it's like the giant book, and then there's like Umineko if Jessica just beat the shit out of the entire Ishiromio family. When Jessica took the brass knuckles out of her pocket again, everyone energetically returned to their tasks. Kenan went down the corridor Jessica had shown him and ran to a temporary stage set up where the vending machines should have been. It's probably being rented by the hour by some group or club. Some singing were student groups, but the crowd was still incredibly excited. Disliking the clatter, he leaned against the wall in the darkness by himself. So this is what they call high school. Sure is noisy. That's what Kenan thought. Then he remembered Jessica just now, acting in a way he'd never seen before. Honestly, she was in high spirits. That alcohol might have been involved. She's not drunk! Kenan! Tim, the reigning co-host and intellectual at all times, was the highest virtue. And that says it was very hard for Kenan to get used to the atmosphere of the school's cultural festival. He had a responsibility to report everything he saw and heard to the master. He also had to report about how Jessica had asked him without restraint earlier. At the very least, it was not fitting for the daughter of the Yoshimiya head family. Master Kraus, and especially Natsuhi, will probably be angry. If I'm to report it in a way that protects Milady, it should blame it on the inappropriate school friends. What was all that? It's just stupid. Kenan thought back on how Jessica had acted earlier inside again. You know, he could understand Natsuki's headache a little now. Come to think of it, Natsuhi-sama, as the president of the PTA, was supposed to go to an informal gathering after attending the ceremony in the gymnasium. She said she wouldn't be able to see Miss Milady's performance, didn't she? That's probably for the best. Crowds certainly are unpleasant. What in the world's going on? Several female students keep glancing at me. It seems they're all whispering the same things. Milady's school friend said. It's truly unpleasant. Come to think of it, didn't Shannon warn me? If you walk alone at something like a school festival, you better watch out, because lots of strange people will talk to you. Excuse me, are you by yourself? As expected, a group of girls I never met started talking to me. Their stares started to make my back tingle. Didn't she tell me that some magic worlds that could change them off in times like this? Sorry, I'm with someone. Oh, really? I'm sorry. Oh, it worked. Instant reaction. Well, that got rid of them, but it really hasn't changed the number of people staring at me. No, that kid. Is that Jesse's boyfriend? No way. Is that kid? I can't believe it. I was sure he was fake. Isn't he cute? Because he's younger, like he. There's no way I'll ever come to a place like this again. Kenan sighed for about the zillionth time that time. When he did, the lighting changed and the standing audience started cheering. He looked around and realized suddenly there was this large group of people there. And unlike earlier, they were mostly guys. With this huge crowd, he couldn't even see the stage. Fortunately, there was a fallen beer case nearby, so he tried using that as a footstool. When did he realize there was now a new group on stage? Their leader is Milady. She's changed into stage clothes and she's even holding a guitar. I didn't know she could play. Then again, maybe she can play. I've seen her practicing air guitar before. Natsu wouldn't approve of any hobbies outside of study. Maybe she was always practicing in secret. Come to think of it, she's been returning really late from school recently, hasn't she? Maybe she's been practicing at school far away from Natsu's prying eyes. It really is for the best that Natsu didn't come. If Milady were to get scolded by Natsu after putting so many hours of practice in, she'd probably be dejected. An entire pack? Yeah. I mean, look at him! Damn! Run, thanks for gathering here today. I could hear Jessica's forceful voice through the speakers. Jessie-sama? Maybe that's her nickname at school. The students in the audience kept calling out that name. I'm a little offended by that crude name. It's inappropriate for Milady. Jessica's in high spirits as they kept shouting Jessie-sama. Everyone here was probably a fan. Her mic performance picked up on that and electrified them even more. It was almost like a music program on TV. At first, he thought all was silly, but that feeling had changed into appreciation. It was incredible in its own way. The girls yearn for Devil May Cry. That's so true. I really want to play Devil May Cry. I don't know if it'd be my type of game, but like, maybe I will. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe we'll play Devil May Cry one day. One day, maybe, in the future. Kanon never listened to the music of his own free will, but he'd often heard the kind of music that the Ushirimiya fan liked. Since it was almost all classical, Kanon naturally taken a liking to that kind of music. Yeah. So to Kanon, the song Jessica sang was, how should I say it, extremely colorful. In any case, if Natsu had heard it, she'd probably faint. This is so good! Oh my god! Total project reference! But everyone looked like they were having a really good time. My mood is instant. This song references Higurashi, says Ryukishin paying the Toho fandom back. Oh, really? That's actually really cute. Like, that era of, like, community of, like, on, like, the early internet is so, like, wholesome. It's something I really fondly look back on. Especially, like, the old iOS SYS songs. Like, people still reference those. Like, they remade Tasukete Erin recently. Cool and Create did. Because I think they added it to... Some die-hard fans who'd even brought pen lights sang along and danced crazily with the same movements, almost as though it had been planned ahead. People still making random things around Battlefield to this day. I feel like the Toho fandom is probably one of the most iconic older fandoms as well. I feel like a lot of early internet culture can be tied to 3 series. 3 things. Vocaloid, big one. Toho Project. That is also, and the third one is the fucking Idolmaster, baby. In the Umineko fighting game, Jessica can use Master Spark just because of this little crossover. Listen, it's so cute. It's actually so cute. It fits her. It fits her personality. She's totally a Marisa girly. Oh, they're Woda-ing! They've got the fucking Woda calls! Let's fucking go. On the stage, Jessica also sang enthusiastically, dripping with sweat. You couldn't find a single element that was appropriate for the daughter of the Ushirimiya family, but it looked like so much fun. Again today, behind me, the sound of footsteps says Oyashiro-sama is stalking me. This appearance is sacrifice, torture, onikakushi. Does that make a good snack? Don't say, Marisa. I'm assuming that's the reference part of the song. Works so well, and Marisa just happens to be a witch. Yeah! I must not go along with it, but at any rate, Milady is full of life and looks like she's having a great time. As I watched Milady enjoying herself, I thought, could this be Ushirimiya Jessica's true nature? Don't I know that better than anyone? During her life in Rakanjima, she's had no choice but to kill her sense of self. The time she spends not as Milady, a successor to the Ushirimiya family, but as a single girl called Jessica, living life to the fullest must be very important to her. I've worked close to Milady, seeing her in all seasons, and I thought I knew everything about her. But that was all limited to one side of her, the Milady of Rakanjima. We are furniture. We serve on Rakanjima and end our lives on Rakanjima. So I've come to think of Rakanjima itself as our whole world. As though, unlike Ptolemaic theory, ocean spilled off the end of the world into an abyss. But then when I look at Milady like this, I can see how horribly narrow that outlook is. I still can't go along with the excitement of the crowd, but I still feel like I can see something that cannot be seen in Rakanjima. I'm not sure if this is the unseeable thing Shannon was talking about, but the ocean still doesn't look blue to me. It's okay, Canon. We'll get you eventually. Like, this is so wholesome, because Canon feels so stoic. Without love, it cannot be seen. The Toho reference was so good. That's so... I'm like... Hee hee. Wasn't the cultural festival at Jessica's school today? How's the principal doing? He seemed to be in good health. That's right, Date member Takamiya was also there. He said to give you his regards. Toho would save the Ushimiya family, I think. Yeah, I think it would. Busy as usual? It appeared so. That person was always very energetic. Oh, and I believe President Emoto also made an appearance. Naturally, the topic of Jessica's cultural fable came up at dinner. School events often became social gatherings for local volunteers. It was the same for the Ushimiya family, who are celebrities around here. Natsu remembered the name of one VIP after another at the social gathering, telling Kraus the news about them. Jessica didn't really have any interest in that discussion and rudely slurped her pumpkin soup. Well, lady, perhaps you ought to take more care with your manners. Yeah, sorry about that. Jessica, how many times must I tell you to watch your language? Yes, ma'am. Jessica answered, discouraged. When he saw that, Kraus smiled a little and paused for his conversation with Natsuhi. How was the festival for you, Jessica? Huh? Oh. Well, it was okay. I was watching. You did an excellent job. Huh? Well, Jessica's face turned bright red. She probably hadn't imagined that Natsuhi would actually come to see her on stage. She felt a mix of happiness and embarrassment. Actually, she hadn't really wanted her mother to watch, since she didn't want to be told that her music was inappropriate for the Ushimiya family. But it certainly didn't make her unhappy to hear her parents say she'd done a good job after watching her try her best. Jessica acted with both composure and dignity, fitting behavior for the student's representative. Oh, yeah. The style had been there until a second ago, crumbled like sand. Jessica immediately realized her mom was talking about something different. Jessica's also the school's student president. She had no interest in doing something so annoying, but her parents had been pushy, so she'd grudgingly accepted. Unfortunately, she was popular at school, so she won the election easily. So Natsuhi was praising her for the student council sufficiently at the beginning of the cultural festival. Actually, she had just carried that out half-heartedly. After that, she immediately met up with her friends and held a stage rehearsal for the rest of the time. That experience of standing above people and bearing responsibility will surely prove useful in the future. In the fighting game, Natsuhi actually... I wish that they weren't in the Ushimiya family. Like, literally, Natsuhi and Jessica would get along fine if they weren't Ushimiyas. Like, if Natsuhi didn't have so much pressure on her to make sure that she grows up well. But she rushed a little while giving the reading. You get a pass on content, but the fast pace of your speech lessened the impact. It might help if you have developed a habit of pausing every once in a while. Yeah. Get the girls out of there, I know. After she finished eating, Jessica didn't feel like going straight to her room. Her room was basically the place her parents had ordered her to be. So perhaps for Jessica, instead of returning to her own room, being in an unknown location in this large mansion was a meager form of resistance. Jessica felt that even being in the mansion, it made it hard to breathe, so she went outside to the rose garden. Well, even if she did show up, I'm sure he would have said something about how it was inappropriate for a successor of the Ushimiya family. So, isn't it better this way? Jessica laughed at what she was sulking over. She laughed at what kind of words she would possibly be expecting. That was done with me. In the end, I was just acting like an entitled brat. I'm a little exasperated with myself. It made me want to laugh. Milady. Ugh, Canon. Don't scare me like that. Just as she was about to force a laugh, Canon suddenly started talking to her and she choked. What's up? Got something to say? Yes? Jessica's expression became the one she always looked when she was looking at Canon. The listless Jessica from a second ago was gone. If he had still only known Jessica as the eventual successor to the Ushimiya family, as he had until yesterday, he might have mistakenly thought Jessica's mood had spun back to normal. But that wasn't right. He now knew part of her couldn't have seen until yesterday. So he understood that there was no way Jessica actually felt the way she appeared. Oh, about today's cultural festival. Well, thanks for coming with me so I could show off. You saved my butt out there. That song. You were really good. Really? You're embarrassing me. Even though she had heard the words she most wanted to hear, Jessica asked it shyly and couldn't accept them openly. I cannot sing, and I don't know how to play any instruments other than the Umineko and the Koro, which I learned in elementary school. So I simply assumed you were the same. At the time, Ken had never thought as though he'd been looking down on Jessica in this way. But all the people he'd seen playing special instruments were at the other sides of the bronze tubes in the TV. At the very least, he'd been under the impression that it'd be impossible for Jessica. I'm furniture, so I didn't believe there was any need to sing or play instruments, but I'm not sure anymore. Seriously, Canon, enough with that I'm furniture business. That's like a proper attitude the servants are supposed to have, right? Servants are supposed to be like living furniture. Genji says it a lot. It isn't just a proper attitude, because we really are furniture. I know the kids from Fukuin House receive assistance from grandfather in various ways, and I realize how grateful you are for that. But it's a bit cruel for you to have you call yourself furniture just because of that. We're all human, aren't we? Canon, when you saw me singing, what did you think? It looks like you were having a lot of fun. I don't think that's true. Huh? You didn't just think it looked fun. You were envious, weren't you? That's not... Canon probably hadn't noticed that emotion himself. Most likely, Canon saw something he'd never seen before, learned about it for the first time, and felt envious. And to trick himself out of that emotion, he'd called himself furniture over and over. I know I'm successor to the Ushimiya family or whatever, and well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of annoying stuff to do from now on. As far as that goes, I can't do anything but give up, since I was born under an unlucky star. Probably, just like you had to live in the Fukuin house, I didn't really have a choice either. I couldn't choose the stars under which I was born. That may be true. But there's one place where you and I are completely different. You know what that is? I'm furniture and Milady is not. He was about to say that, but stopped. I don't know. Canon, when you decide your fate determines everything about you, and you gave up. But I can't accept this kind of fate, so I do the best I can. The difference in how Jessica treats Canon versus how George treats Shannon, though, yeah, no, this is much more palatable than George and Shannon's whatever they've got going on. So though there's still the rigid and cornered me that's gonna stay as the daughter of Ushi. I've created another me that can do what I like to the fullest. Another you? Yeah. Canon, you've been instructed to say because I'm furniture. I'm sure you've gone through a lot of tough times just because of that. I think that's really unfortunate. But the idea that your entire life will be decided by that alone just seems sad to me. You know, it's always possible for people to create another self inside them. A self that they can truly grow to like. I'm not talking about escaping from reality, okay? When I'm that other self, I can really feel like I'm living a great life. So, no matter how constrained and boring the everyday life gets to be, I can always live on without suffocating. To make another self inside of yourself that you can truly grow to like. To make another me, one that isn't furniture. Though her relationship with George has given Shannon birth to another self that isn't furniture? And did this other Shannon see something that cannot be seen by furniture? That's right. Well, I don't know anything about your private life, Canon. But I can sort of guess. Your private life probably doesn't exist at all. Am I right? Canon couldn't reply, but that was enough in an answer. He had no concept of a private life, so Canon would always be Canon. So the furniture would always be furniture. Canon isn't your real name, right? In the Fukuin house, new graduates would be given new families and a new life, so they were also given a new name. In this case, that was Canon. Certainly. This name of mine may be a temporary thing. Before he'd thought of himself as Canon, no one else. But he remembered. There definitely had been another self that wasn't Canon. But that was far, far away, beyond the distant fog of oblivion. So even for you, it should be okay to have times when you're canon and times when you aren't. Maybe when you act as a servant, that canon calls himself furniture strictly limits his own will. But when you aren't canon, I think it's okay to live much, much more freely. Those words definitely weren't just lip service. Jessica had also been like this in the past. She'd cursed her own birth into an environment different from all of her friends at school. Only she had been heavily constricted environment, forced to learn all sorts of things. And she'd even been told who she was and wasn't allowed to play with. I may have been sad, but she'd given up, resigning herself to the fact that she was born under that kind of star. But one day, Jessica stopped giving up and surrendering. Stuff like the Urshirmia family customs and pressure didn't matter. She created a real Jessica inside herself, one that could do what she really wanted to do. You know, I go by the nickname Jessie at school. When I'm Jessie, I live life honestly and to the fullest. And because of that, I can do my best when I'm Jessica too. Jessica actually wants Canon to live for himself and wants to rebel against the entire system that binds them, or George wants him and Shannon to exist within it. Yeah, exactly. Would it really be so bad if you could also have times when you're canon and times when you're your real name? When you aren't canon, can't you try becoming another self that you can like? A time when I'm not canon. He'd once thought of his real name as something being completely meaningless. Because of that, he'd thought that canon summed up everything about him. And now Jessica was telling him to create something new, another self that wasn't canon. Canon, if you don't mind, tell me, what's your real name? He was silent for quite some time. Maybe Canon's real name had risen to the tip of his tongue. After hesitating for a long time of whether he should say it, in the end, he swallowed it back down. I forgot. My name doesn't matter anymore. Those words contained a faint rejection. No matter what kind of real name I had, the only truth now that here I am canon. The past has nothing to do with anything. The materials with which furniture is made, be it a trunk or a tree or otherwise, are meaningless in the end. I told you to stop that. You aren't furniture, you're human. I'm not human. Canon clearly voiced his refusal. It was with a rage he normally didn't show. Jessica couldn't say anything back and was struck silent. You are human, milady. So you're free to live any way you please. And any kind of furniture is possible for you. It's almost like you have wings and you can dance through the sky like a bird. But I'm not like that. Even if I looked like a bird, I'd be nothing more than a domestic duck. Even though they have wings, they cannot fly. To speak of me that dream in the sky despite that. It's just too cruel. Furniture and ducks. What in the hell is all this? No. Jessica had consciously gone along with Kanson's forceful manner of speaking, but she realized that she shouldn't fire back and swallowed her words. I don't know anything about you. I don't even know your upbringing, and I don't know the hardships you've been through, so I can't even imagine why you start calling yourself furniture. But know this, you aren't furniture or a duck. You're a real human. If you want to say Canon's furniture when he's working as a servant, that's fine. But in that case, don't you think you can create a self for when you aren't furniture, or for when you're human? Only a human like a lady can embrace that possibility. I'm not like that. I have no future, no possibilities, and no dream that I am allowed to see. So, milady, please don't say any more cruel things. Why? Why do you say stuff like that? Because it seems you mistakenly think I'm a human, the same as you, milady. We're different sorts of beings. I just wanted to make that clear. I heard from Shannon. Something about milady liking me. What? No. I look almost identical to a human. So, like Shannon, I could probably delude myself into thinking I'm a human and pretend to love for a time. But then I would surely be fooling myself. No, I'd be fooling you too. Shannon and George will definitely fall apart. Even though Shannon herself probably realizes that Dale will come, she's taking part in such a stupid... There's nothing stupid about it. Sure, George is a wonderful person, and he's got to match up with his parents' expectations. I'm sure when it comes to marriage, Aunt Ava will interfere in various ways, and I think their future prospects look like they'll feel trouble, okay? But you know what? George isn't the kind of guy who surrendered to that shit. Shannon can know Juliet, but she'll definitely bring her happiness. Even if I looked like a majestic bird, I would still be a domestic duck. I can only dream of flying. Like, not only is this commentary on casteism, it's also a disturbingly close genderqueer parallel. Yeah, Kennen's super gender, so... What I'm trying to say is, even if you can love furniture, I can't love you. Those words of Canon crushed all of Jessica's bitter, sweet feelings from that day. There was no way her emotions could have predicted she'd be refused so bluntly. In an instant, she lost the willpower that had led her to try and unravel something stubborn in Cannon's heart. Before she knew it, she was just standing there in shock. Milady, if your feelings were due to my conceit, then I must ask you to forgive me. No. Well, I won't deny that. Thank you very much. Thank you for thinking of me as a human. Those feelings alone do make me happy. Anything more would be too cruel for me, so... No, I've said enough. Sorry about that. Jessica rustily scratched at her head and spoke, trying to force her voice to sound bright. I just kind of ran ahead by myself and was a burn it on you. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for causing so much trouble on your precious day off. No. I was also happy I could see you having fun. Then let's call it a night. If I don't go back to my room and turn off all the lights, Mom will get mad at me again. That's probably for the best. I wish you a good night, milady. Yeah. Good night. Cannon saw Jessica trot away with her back to him, looking disheartened. But then she suddenly broke into a reckless dash and disappeared in the direction of the mansion. As he watched her back, just for an instant, Cannon was tormented by the feeling he's just made a huge mistake. That's because you did, idiot! But he hadn't made a mistake at all. He'd been forced to refuse her for her sake, yet while the pain was still at its smallest. Nice going, making a woman cry like that. Oh, she's here. Didn't expect you to refer her that strongly. If you'd given her a normal answer, another pair of lovers would have been born thanks to my magic. Beatrice is here! Yippee! Like, Cannon feels like he's deceiving others into thinking he's human. Yeah, it's really bad. It's like, I really feel bad. I really feel for Cannon a lot. Like, I just want him to be happy. How long have you been there? What a horrible person. When he turned around, the witch was suddenly there. It looked like she'd been there the whole time, just watching the two of them as though enjoying a play. The gender witch! Oh god, witch that makes you gendered. I shall forgive you for your insults, just this one, in deference to that amusing little show. Even after 1,000 years, no more interesting show exists than the competitions between boys and girls. Beatrice, do you really even need to slaughter the whole Ushira Miya family? Could you not just witness their family soap opera that's happening? To me, it's a pleasure that it's better and more addictive than opium. Cannon pulled up the butterfly brooch out of his pocket. It was the manifestation of the great magic the witch had bestowed. Without hesitation, Cannon slammed it against the ground and stomped on it. Huh. What is the meaning of this? You know that was given by me. Just now I figured it out. What you're doing isn't as tasteful as being a cupid of love. You're just a demon who enjoys showing love to those who can never be together, deceiving them. You're free to think that. Most humans I lend my power to say the same thing. Don't play dumb. You didn't lend Shannon your power because you felt sorry for her. You found a weak point in Shannon's heart as her chest burned with love and you made her break the mirror that sealed you. What's more, you guessed this is how this would end, and now you're toying with her. Am I wrong? Furniture has a thoroughly pitiful existence, so you have no dreams, no future, no love? Good. There's nothing better than knowing your place. As you notice, there was a faint love residing in Jessica's heart. You seem to think that you snipped it in the bud. But did you know? Trees grow thicker branches if you thin out and prune them. A girl who loves furniture, is it? Amusing. How truly amusing. Shannon and George will eventually reach a stalemate with no unfulfillable love, ripening into the sort of large fruit that I love.
Regretfully, it seems going so smoothly for those two that it's hardly entertaining anymore. But on the plus side, it seems the two of you will amuse me to no end. The witch laughed, as though she had known the two could ever be together and lent them magic to bring them together. However, they couldn't escape the fate that prevented them from being truly joined. The witch knew that. Even if they were joined, Shannon and George, Canon and Jessica would eventually break up. They would wander through an endless desert in the hell of love, tormented by an eternal thirst. What did you think I'd lent you my power and ask for nothing in exchange? I'll gladly assist a pair in love. In exchange, I'll enjoy watching the cruel fate they'll eventually meet. I've never come across a better show, and over the course of 1,000 years. Just look at Kinzo. See how he ended up, an old, pitiful man who learned the taste of love before being thrown out of paradise. Look at how he lives, like a dead man that cannot fully die. You truly are a witch. Disappear! Get out of my sight, demon! Oh, I would disappear even without your prompting. My power still hasn't returned. It is still tiring to continue showing myself. I overdid it when I gave you lovers my power. As I am now, I'll not easily maintain that power without the brooch as a catalyst. Cannon ground his foot even more into the stomped brooch. He felt it break under his foot. Then it evaporated like water, and changed into butterflies that sparkled gold, fluttering out from beneath Cannon's foot. Maintaining this form is quite painful for me as well. I will hide myself for a time, just as you desire. My magical power will rise as surely as the moon and the tides. And eventually, a fitting time will come for my revival. I know not in the slightest whether that will be tomorrow, or next year, or even 100 or 1,000 years in the future. But as long as there are two who entertain me, I will surely gain power and revive. I will disappear for a short while, until that time comes. The bruise on the palm of your hand is already gone, so if you wish, tomorrow morning you can let my existence vanish like an illusion or a dream. After all, nothing saddens me more than being forgotten. However, I will surely be revived. Be on your guard so that you do not regret the day's coming when it arrives. I will surely have my second coming and rule over everything as this island's true master. That is the time when the door to the Golden Land will be opened again. The greedy dead will surely wake me. You talk too much. Disappear now, Golden Witch. The witch became a cloud of gold butterflies and scattered away, leaving behind a scornful laugh. The whole area sparkled like a gold blizzard in a snow globe. It was a fleeting, fantastical scene that disappeared in a heartbeat. The witch could no longer be seen. However, Cannon felt like he could still hear that shrill, unpleasant laugh. How amusing. How truly amusing. Why is the human world so amusing after all the years I've been away? Go mad with love. Go mad with gold. Those who wouldn't go mad from one of the two are not human. Does a gay little bat that pisses you off? Beatrice at the whole Ushiromiya family. See, so that's why the word furniture is so fitting. Furniture was created to serve humans, and I cruelly treat humans as playthings to sate my 1,000 years of boredom. What a truly amusing three-way deadlock that I cannot control furniture. Kinzo, you fool. What a truly entertaining scheme you've worked out. Furniture, you fools. Just see if you can fell me. Tonight 2 seeds of love have been sown, including the one already sown. That makes 3. Beatrice, why did you leave me alone in this painful world? I hate you. I will hate you for all eternity for not trying to answer, despite being yearned for so. Master, drinking any more will damage your health. Go mad with love, go mad with gold. Goes crazy though. It goes so fucking crazy. Oh my god. There's so many good lines in this chapter already. Like the line about the ducks. And the line with go mad with love, go mad with gold. Like, that's so fucking crazy. Oh, that's so good. I can't get over that. I'm gonna be thinking about that. Master, Dr. Nanjo warned you as well, did he not? Be silent, Genji. You do not understand. You don't understand my grief and sadness. And after I believed you, at least you, my oldest friend, would understand my pain. Why can you not understand? Oh, Beatrice, why did you leave me all alone? What the hell do you mean, furniture? I don't get it. Oh, poor Jessica. Even though the cries I hear coming from your room tell me of the situation, there's nothing I can do. This is all tragedy due to the pair who are too young to be getting too close. When the position of their birth are too distant, I can do nothing but understand Milady's feelings, hide my footsteps, and quietly walk away. Thank you for the Greek chorus, Kumasawa. Thank you. It's so good. Oh. What? What do you mean by that, George? I mean what I said. I still haven't built up my castle. Once I manage to do that, I'll finally be able to think of myself as an adult. When that happens, I want to marry you. That's, but my heart won't let me do that anymore. So, I want to give you an engagement ring. Engagement, you say? But, I am furniture. Oh, right, that. Well, then furniture has to listen to what people say, right? Die. Right now I'm giving a ring that'll be fitting for you. I think it'll be ready in the time for me to bring it to the upcoming family conference. I'll give it to you then, so please, I want you to let me hear your answer. Die. Literally rot, George. I'm gonna rip you to shreds. I want you to suffer, as I have suffered, having to deal with your heterosexual nonsense. If you accept, then I'll proclaim our engagement right there in front of all the relatives, including grandfather. George, I'm sure some people want to prove for our relationship, but there's no need to look at their faces, because you only have to fill your eyes with me. I will definitely bring you happiness. That's the one thing I can promise you with certainty. I want him dead, clean shot. Exactly. I want him dead, clean shot. Get rid of him. Throw the whole boy away. I miss Battler. I miss him so much. I miss Battler so much. This song? This goes crazy. What the hell? Oh my god, what the? I just can't wait to see how it'll ripen. The golden butterflies do not swoop upon the juice of the overripe and rotting fruit. I cannot wait for the day of harvest to come. It is the time of the banquet here yet. The witch has Gregorian chants! Oh, gosh. The Witch of Golden Chance. Oh my god. Yeah, the first day! Yippee! Oh my god, we're so fucking back. Dawn of the first day, let's fucking go! 24 hours remain. They had eaten breakfast in a coffee shop in the station building. By chance, the inside of the shop had been decorated with Halloween colors since it was October. Maria had seemed awfully pleased with that. For quite some time, she talked loudly inside the train about wanting to have a Halloween festival, without caring she was attracting the attention of others. Halloween is popular in Europe and America, but people aren't familiar with it in Japan. The shopping district was colorfully decorated with orange pumpkins, but the costume parades of the children demanding sweets and saying trick-or-treat were nowhere in sight. I want a Halloween festival. I don't want to wear these clothes. I want to look like a witch. The family conference isn't for playing. We're going to meet grandfather, so you have to dress up nice. While it wasn't completely full inside the train, it was really packed, with almost all seats occupied by passengers. Maria was making a fuss among them, stomping her feet on the seat while Rosa scowled at her. Playing? She's having fun plus playing! Leave her alone! Rosa had warned her many times to lower her voice, but Maria hadn't obeyed her at all. Once Maria got like this, no matter how much she tried to explain the situation or calm her, she wouldn't listen. Before, Rosa used to pamper Maria and give in to her at times like this, but that'd probably been a mistake. Surely Maria had gained the mistaken impression that throwing a tantrum long enough would make her mother give up and do what Maria said. Rosa had realized the error with the help of an educational book, and since then she'd hardened the part of her heart that wanted to pamper her beloved daughter. Her mutual understanding with Maria began to grow weaker and weaker, and she began to get discouraged by her own powerlessness, and more often.
Halloween! If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. Ooh!
I don't have any sweets to give you. We just ate breakfast.
If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank.
A stout old woman who was sitting nearby as Maria stopped her feet picked a candy out of her handbag and held it out for Maria.
I got a sweet! Look, Mama! Mama! Happy Halloween!
Maria, you can't just accept sweets from strangers, right? Give it back. Oh, don't worry about it. She's such a spirited young lady. How old is she? Maybe there was no malice in the old woman's words. However, Rosa seemed to find that remark extremely humiliating. Maria, haven't I always told you not to accept sweets from strangers?
She gave it to me. No, it's mine.
Let go of it. How many times do I have to tell you to do what Mama says?
It's mine. It's mine.
Oh no. Didn't I always tell you to not say Rosa reflexively hit Maria violently on her cheek. In a flash, Maria started crying loudly. Rosa immediately took the candy from Maria's chin and pushed it back towards the dumbfounded old woman sitting next to them. Please do not give sweets to my daughter. I'm so sorry. Breathing heavily, Rosa once again handed the candy out to the old woman. After getting flustered about what she should say for a few moments, perhaps the old woman realized that her actions may have troubled this parent and child, and she accepted the candy back, apologizing. The scene is really rough. It's bad. I can't stand Rosa. After that, Rosa finally took notice of her surroundings. Her daughter's clothes were all messed up. She was crying and shouting with her nose dripping, and there were many dumbfounded passengers watching them. Except for the sound of the train running, the interior was completely silent. Fortunately, that pitiful silence didn't last more than a short while. However, it was followed by an even more painful atmosphere as people began to whisper. Maria shouted, cried, kicked, and stomped her feet as usual, paying no heed to the people sitting around her. Impulsively, Rosa tried to slap her again, but she had noticed the cold eyes of the people in the train and couldn't. Literally, like, the scum of the earth. The train stopped. Rosa forcibly pulled Maria's arm and got off, almost dragging her daughter along. Maria didn't stop crying. Rosa took her to the end of the platform and hit her cheek again. The moment she was hit, Maria stopped crying for an instant, but for long she started and cried more before. Overwhelmed with emotion, Rosa grabbed the nape of Maria's neck and dragged her, tugging at her hair. Mama, it hurts. I'm not voicing this part. I can't. I tell you to shut up. That ooh of yours. I told you to stop. It's the reason you can't make friends in class, right? Get a hold of yourself. Why are you still a kindergartner inside your head? Why can't you do what Mama says? Why? Why? I don't like this. I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Those severe words, Rosa hit Maria's cheek over and over again. The more Maria cried and shouted, the more Rosa hit her. The more Maria was hit, the more intensely she cried and shouted. Mama, it hurts. Mama, it hurts. Save me. Why can't you stop saying it? This is exactly why you can't make friends. That's why Papa's business trip never ends. This is why I... Excuse me, ma'am. Is everything alright? Do you want something? The one who turtily calls her was the station attendant. Rosa glared at the attendant with a look that said, "Don't butt into the problems of a mother and child, stranger." Of course, the attendant surely hadn't wanted to get involved either. However, Rosa had been yelling on the platform for a much longer time than she had imagined. Her emotional scolding had led the passengers on the platform to advise the attendant to call out to her. Rosa yelled at the attendant, saying not to worry anymore since they'd be getting on the next train. And finally, or rather, for the second time, she noticed the passenger of the platform staring at her from a distance. Rosa sweat lightly and felt a breeze making her sweat go cold, tormenting her. Maria kept crying, shielding her own head. Of course, this being continued, she'd probably keep crying indefinitely. I did it again. The terrible heat in Rosa's head faded. She knew she surrendered her soul to that evil again. Mama, come back. Ooh. Rosa fell to her knees and followed Maria, whose face was all soggy with tears and mucus. Can't say I hate her after watching through the entire length of Umineko, but this is something that stays with children for the rest of their lives. Yeah, literally, like, I have thoughts on this, especially, like, kind of with Maria being the way she is. Like, it's really cruel. It's really, like, deeply traumatic as a child. Maria, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mama, welcome back. Finally, Maria mused that her mother was her mother again. She clung to her mother's body and cried, burying her face in her mother's chest. Forgive your bad mama. Forgive your bad mama. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate your mama. I'm just fine. I won't hate Mama. Mama was only being possessed by the bad witch again. But you came back, so I'm just fine. Yeah, that's right. Mama was just being possessed by the bad witch again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. For the long time, the two of them hugged each other, asking for and sharing words of forgiveness. After a while, they calmed down and both moved back at the same time. Maria's face and Rosa's face were both deep red after crying their eyes out. Do you want to have a Halloween festival, Maria? I wanted to show those pumpkin marshmallows to George and Jessica. The ways they both compartmentalize. Yeah, when she literally has, like, mental illness. Mental illness, probably, and also, like, anger issues. It was a candy that had been selling near the cash register at the shop they'd eaten breakfast. A fancy sweet that had a big orange marshmallow in the shape of a jack-o'-lantern attached to the tip of the stick. Maria had wanted it and insistently pestered Rosa for it. Rosa refused, saying there was no way she could buy sweets right after breakfast. Then Maria, I don't know if they sell it in this town or not, but let's get off and try searching for them okay? Yeah. Rosa acknowledged she's giving in whenever she hits Maria. She never does anything to address it. Yeah, exactly. Love you, Mom. It's like, Rosa is stuck in her own, like, she's like, well, I can't help it. So, it's the child's fault instead of, but she also knows what she's doing is wrong at the same time, but she can't, it's interesting. I have thoughts on this. I'm like, part of this is like, part of this hits a little close to home, so I'm like, a little, like, this is like really deeply uncomfortable for me to read. Like, it hits a little bit too close to home for me. Mama, I love you so much. Thank you. Love you too, Maria. The truth was that they didn't have time to wait loitering around over at a stopover station. If they missed the airplane, they'd fall half away behind schedule. They should have left home with more time to spare, but she'd ended up leaving late after choosing Maria's clothes. Because of that, Rose had been a bit impatient since the morning. She looked at the clock. They had to get on the next train immediately, but her daughter firmly joined hand with her by the suite with her mother, and that hand was warm. To Rosa, as she was now, it was more important to renew her bonds with Maria. To her, Maria was only a beloved daughter, but she was everything Rosa had. Fortunately, she could see a big supermarket right in front of the station. They might not be able to find exactly the same suite, but Maria would probably be happy with a similar one. Besides, Rosa couldn't show up with a face swelled from crying. She must fix her makeup. Maybe now we won't find a marshmallow exactly like that one, but hopefully we can find something like it. Let's buy someone. Surprise all your cousins together. Yeah, as long as we buy it together, any suite is fine. Exited through the turnstiles of the station's unknown town, Maria walked across the pedestrian crossing together with her mother, chuckling to herself, almost as though she was walking in an amusement park. Both faces were still deep red, but the two of them, mother and child, smiled warmly at each other without any restraint. Yeah, like, it's just... I have thoughts on this, and I have, like, things that I could definitely say about this with, like, just, like, parent and child mental health being kind of like a cascade effect. Dear, what are you doing in a place like this? Oh, it's you. It's nothing. I just find this a pleasant place to think. All of our preparations for today have been completed. Why don't we have some tea and relax while we wait? Forgive me. I'm always making you handle such troublesome matters. Please, rely on me even more. I'm your wife. Naturally, I'm grateful to have you always coming to my aid. That's precisely why I'm able to devote myself to my work. I understand. I understand about your work. There's something to be said about Rosa's raising a child as a single parent without someone outside the Yoshiramiya family as a co-parent. Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing, is like, when you're like a single, when your child is like a single parent, and like when like the rest of the family is not particularly like either supportive nor like kind in any way, it destroys like the mental of all parties. Because it's just like, I don't know. I'm like thinking, I feel like I'm thinking a bit into this, but like at the same time, it's just like, it's just tragic. Because like, I think that they could have, if they've left the Yoshiramiya family, they totally could have like leaded a normal life. Like, it would have been stressful, but like, I'm sure that Rosa would have gotten by probably if she had left the Yoshiramiya family. I understand about your work. On top of her father's inheritance, right? It all goes back. Yeah, the whole thing, this whole work is about like generational trauma affecting children and the next generation, and how it's a horrid cycle. So, at least that's what I think this story is about. Just like the vibes I get, I'm just like, it's all about generational trauma. Maria, because she thinks it makes her look bad as part of the family. Yeah, exactly. That has nothing to do with you. It's nothing more as if fishing for rotten meat amongst greedy siblings. It's okay, dear. Everything will go well. Your businesses have never failed to work themselves out. Natsu softly cuddled close to Krause's shoulder. She complimented Krause on his hard work, but Natsu knew better than anyone his hard work wasn't going well. Krause's project was something like a seesaw where a large amount of money swings. Should have been me, not him. Yeah, he doesn't deserve her. Big investments can lead to massive payoffs, but like large seesaws, they tend to shake a lot while moving very slowly, instead of showing immediate results. At times, it's possible to make further investments, so that seesaw inclines faster towards the side you want. Of course, you can only do that if you're confident you'll be able to recover all your investments in the not-so-distant future. However, the seesaws Krause chose never turned out as he would like them to. His foresight wasn't wrong, but the time were sort of moving sluggishly. They never managed to catch up with him. For example, think of a literal seesaw placed in a park. It's really popular item, so there's always someone playing on it, and you've got to wait a long time for your turn. Let's say that one day you spotted one of the seesaw that was completely unused, and you raced to grab it first and have it all yourself. But, however, unless someone got on the opposite side of the seesaw, you wouldn't be able to play on it. If lots of time passed and nobody came to the opposite end. Seesaws are popular, so if you wait long enough, skin will surely show up. But Krause noticed something. The weather's getting worse, so no one's coming outside to play. Seesaws are popular, so someone will surely come eventually. If he vacated his place because of worsening weather, it would certainly be snatched away. And once again, he'd been longingly gazing from the distance of someone having fun on the seesaw. On one side of the seesaw, he continued to wait patiently all alone. It was Krause's project and his current situation. If only I had a bit more courage and the self-confidence to believe in my own foresight, I would have never failed. Yes, that's true. Your foresight is never wrong. Your only one inherent father's resourcefulness. You inherited the innate decision of none of the other siblings did. No, you didn't. I could never believe in it. I always shut my own projects down like a coward. Why can't I believe in myself? I would believe a man who can't believe in himself. Nobody believes. I'm always sitting on the seat where the losers must sit, and my father, my mother, my siblings all sneer at me. How long is it going to take for me to be set free of this emotional complex? Just how long will it take? Natsu was the only one who knew. Only she knew of Krause's anguish. I was the eldest son of the Yoshimiya family, who would soon be forced to bear an immense responsibility. He couldn't open his pained heart to anyone, and was getting compared to his father's great enterprises. made preservations concerning all other matters, so you'll be able to devote your attention entirely to the family conference. Yes, everything else has been seen to. Thank you. Will there be any problems dealing with Father? No. Genji and Dr. Nanjo are on our side. I'll never allow those greeting siblings to make a contact with Father. Hello, Goda here. Yes, please leave it to me. I'm anxious to put my skills to work and for the big annual job. In the kitchen, multicolored ingredients were gathered and the preliminary arrangements were promptly being started. Even though it was still morning, the ingredients for dinner were already in saucepans and steaming. Normally he'd had to deal with several assorted matters, but on the day of the family conference he could devote himself entirely to cooking. To Goda, who was originally a chef, this was surely the greatest gala occasion of the whole year. Yes, dinner will be calf steak. A wonderful cut of meat is already anxiously awaiting for tonight in the refrigerator. Please be sure to look out for it to dinner. It was rare for Goda to be in this good of a mood towards his fellow servants. Goda bragged about being the Ashiraya family's personal chef, and knowing he was considered worthy to display his excellent cooking at the family conference was his greatest honor. Going to the horrifying realization, I've never seen the Steam version of Goda's sprite until now. Yeah, it's pretty good. Understood. I'll leave everything to you. Also, is Kumisawa there? Kumisawa-san? I happened to see her earlier, but she's not there. Perhaps she went to get things ready in the guest house. Is she loafing around again? No, it's fine. Please continue with your work. Yes, leave everything to me. Goda! Genji placed the telephone back on the receiver, sighing lightly. Genji sighed once again, thinking of Kumisawa, who was probably hiding again even though things were this busy. And the ostentatious Goda, who only felt like doing anything on a day where he could show off. Excuse me. The preparations for all the rooms in the guest house are complete. We received instructions from Milady to prepare a room for 4 people so that children can all spend the night together. So, what shall we do? I hear Battler will be coming for the first time in 6 years. Presumably, Milady wants to stay up late into the night with her cousins. Make the preparations. You do not need to tell Madam. I see. Certainly. So tonight we'll have the late night shift followed immediately by the morning shift. Looks like these 2 days will be tiresome. Speaking of which, the weather forecast is saying a typhoon will soon strike the area. Will everything be alright? Assuming the typhoon doesn't stray too far from its course, it may affect the boat ride back to the family members. The family conference's schedule might be extended until Monday or Tuesday. Our task may be a long and tiring one, but I earnestly ask you take care not to make any blunders. Shannon, remain calm and do not panic. Cannon, be sure to greet our guests in a sociable manner. Yes, I'll be careful. I'll be careful. Today we must conduct ourselves in a manner suitable for a very important guest. See to it that you make no blunders. We understand. All guests who visit here are important. Kennen, in the truest sense, we will be receiving a very important guest today. Make sure that you are prepared. Yes, sir. Shannon, is something the matter? You seem to be uneasy. Do you have some prior engagement at this time? No, it's nothing. My apologies. Nae-san, important guests will be arriving today. Detach yourself from your private life. Oh my goodness. I don't know what you mean by private life. As Shannon blushed a bit, she turned her gaze away from the clock. It was about time for an airplane carrying the family to arrive at Nijima. She tried to hide the fact that her upcoming longing reunion with George was making her heart race. But Cannon, who stood beside her, seemed to see right through her. Whew, okay. Shannon, please don't say a word and accept this. Inside a bathroom store, George was practicing something over and over, taking out a small velvet box hidden in his pocket like a Twig-Grod desert gunman. That's not it. Shannon likes men who's more assertive. I've got to pump it with more horsepower. And put this on your ring finger. That's an order, okay?
if I don't say that properly, that it's on the left hand, maybe she'll put it on her right hand. No, Shannon isn't that ignorant. But unless there's some room for her express or feel will, that'd be a little, I mean... Ugh. At least he somewhat cares about her free will. Fucking loser. Like, what do you know about her free will? As he crossed his arms, someone knocked on the door. George was snapped back into reality. Hey, George. You okay? Got a stomachache or something? Hey, Uncle Rudolph. It's okay. I'm fine. No need to worry. Really? That's good then. But you know, you're straining way too much. Your muscle burst. Stop! Rudolph watched his hands, laughing cheerfully as he left. George, realizing the most embarrassing part hadn't been overheard, relaxed and felt extremely relieved. Curie, isn't Rosa here? Not yet. She's pretty late. It's a good thing the weather's delaying our flight. If the schedule had gone normally, she would have missed the plane. Rudolph is so old Battler coded. Yeah, they're, like, Battler denies that they're the same, but, like, they're the same guy. Rosa is very much an adult now. She'll manage it somehow. No matter how old they get, older brothers will always teach their older sisters like children. I can't stop yawning. Of course, Dad's always a kid, no matter how old he gets. What you say? If I'm a kid, that makes you a baby. Come on, Battler, off you go. Stop it, that tickles. You two look more like bratty friends than a father and son. Look, she's here. Oh, if it isn't Rosa, Maria, long time no see. Long time no see. Ooh. No ritual dying, I sleep. Maria, shouldn't that be it's good to see you again? Greet Hideyoshi-san properly?
It's good to see you again.
There you go. Well said. How about some candy as a reward? Uh-huh. Where'd I put it?
Rosa, it's good to see you again. It's good to see you too, Maria. It's been too long, Kyrie. Hideyoshi. And oh, my Battler. Look at how big you've gotten.
Come on. It's embarrassing to hear that from everyone I meet. Hey, Rosa. You're late. If the plane was on time, you'd barely have made it. Sorry. We had some trouble making our train connection. So, are we trading on the weather again?
Oh, don't complain. I much prefer the 30-minute plane trip spending 6 hours bounding around on a boat. Even if we were kept waiting here for an hour, it's still much faster overall. Is that Maria? You sure have gotten big. She's at that growing age. You haven't seen her for 6 years, right? Of course she's changed. Women are creatures that can be born again in a single day when they have a change of heart. Maria, noticing a big man she hadn't recognized, mixed in among the relatives, hid behind Rosa's back and glared at Battler. Come on, Battler, say hi. At last time you met her, she was just 3, so you're practically meeting her for the first time. No rich people dying, I sleep. I sleep. Honk, me. Of course you wouldn't remember something that happened when she was 3. Maria, long time no see, you sure have gotten big. Maria, this is Battler. Rudolph's son. Understand?
The brother's son is... The brother is the son?
She was obviously on her guard. After all, it was hardly surprising that she'd be scared if a large guy like Battler started speaking frankly to her. Battler noticed that as well and thought of various ways she might approach her. Then he spotted the candy she had in her hand. It was the jack-o'-lantern sweet Rosa had bought for her. I see it's October, so that must be for Halloween. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank, right? Normally, trying to snatch a sweet from a small child would result in them crying and screaming. The assault seemed dubious about Battler's tactics, but Maria looked unexpectedly pleased, her face splitting into a wide grin.
Halloween! See, Mama, Battler also knows about Halloween. See?
Hey, call him Battler Oni-chan. Sorry, Battler.
No, don't sweat it. Please call me Battler, because I'll be calling you Maria. Look, Maria, it's Halloween. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank.
If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank.
From inside her purse, Maria picked out a jack-o'-lantern sweet similar to the one she had in her hand and presented it to Battler. When Battler accepted it, that seemed to be enough to confirm their friendship. Sometimes Battler has an incredible emotional intelligence. Sometimes he has the emotional intelligence of a rock. Yeah, that's his debuff. He's like a metronome.
The adults were amazed at how good children can be at getting along with each other. Murray had been throwing a tantrum because she wanted a Halloween festival, so Battler, who knew about trick-or-treating, must have felt like an ally. Her defensive posture from before was completely gone. Now she was all cheery, as though they'd been friends for decades. That's right, Halloween's a pretty minor event in Japan. You always see people marching in costume parades in the news overseas, but I've never seen it here. I wanted to wear a costume too. Wanted to say trick-or-treat with all the cousins wearing costumes. I see. Let's do it together next time. What would you like to dress up as? Ally Ishirimiya Battler. Happy Pride! Happy Pride to Ishirimiya Battler.
A witch, Beatrice!
Oh. Where are we switching to? Oh. Beatrice moment. Madam. Oh, milady, what are you doing in such... Oh, milady, what are you doing in such a place? Madam was looking for you. I'm here because I don't want to be found. Anyways, I'm sure she just wants to scold me, like, is your parents alright, and watch your language? Without a doubt. You know, when the day of the family conference comes, I always start thinking about this witch for some reason. And why might that be? The family conference is the day where everyone related to grandfather gathers. I hear that this time even Battler's gonna be coming after 6 years. What if, just like that, some relative who hasn't shown themselves for several decades suddenly shows up? That's what I'm always thinking about. Ha ha! Could a relative like that exist? I mean Beatrice. Nobody knows her background. Could she be grandfather's mistress from long ago? What if one of her descendants suddenly appears and tells us to return the gold you were given or something? Kraus and the others will probably discuss the Magister's inheritance problem this year too. Once they get so fire talking about the witch's gold, one could hardly be surprised that the witch herself would actually show up. Akumasawa, I guess you keep quitting and getting rehired, but you've been here as long as Genji, haven't you? You know more about Beatrice, don't you? Who knows? Oh, even I try to remember. This old woman here can't recall what she had for breakfast this morning. Kumasawa, you're always dodging with those excuses, but you know something, don't you? Sometimes you keep like kind of devious, like you know something and you're laughing behind our backs. That's harsh. I don't have any secrets. Only thing I can say is Beatrice is the Golden Witch, and that she's the other master who controls the night of this island. Okay, now you're just repeating stuff Grandfather said. It must be a pain to play along with Grandfather's crap, even though you get paid for it. However, I can say this much. What? In ancient times, Rokonjima was feared and called Azukishima. The Azuki is said to be a corrupted form of Akujiki. And the fact is it was called Akujishima. Akujikishima. That is what's told among the fishermen. I've heard about that before. Supposedly there's lots of sunken rocks and shipwrecks around here, so the fishermen get scared and stayed away whenever they could, right? Evil spirits settled down on Akujishima and have been continually eating the souls of people since ancient times. Quite a few people lost their lives because of this island. And then that monk, the traveling Shujinja or whatever, built that shrine, reposed the souls and settled them there, right? Sounds pretty crazy, though. And that shrine for the repose of souls was destroyed by an eerie violet thunderbolt this summer, which tore up the darkness of the night. Kumasawa, you really like these stories. Okay, it'll be pretty creepy if a thunderbolt took out a shrine, but, well, it was all worn down from the start. Maybe it just got washed away by some big wave. The evil spirits of Akujikishima woke from their slumber and summoned Beatrice. Beatrice happens to pay a visit to the family conference. If she does? Kumasawa fell silent for a moment. Jessica was pressing her to keep going, so that gap felt strange and eerie. When Kumasawa noticed that she had Jessica pretty scared with her silence, she grinned broadly. Well now, I wonder what would happen. And she's actually gonna show up this time. Oh, sounds great. Of course. Won't you be able to do better at work? You get a chance to enrich your heart by living the good life once in a while? Yep. Can't live out unless both your wallet and your heart are enriched, after all. Sure, I'll keep that deal. Go ahead and make reservations. Okay. Don't even think about missing it. Yeah, I'm counting on you.
Love you, Kira. Remember when lightning struck and Shannon broke the mirror? Yeah, I assumed that was why the shrine disappeared. After kissing the receiver, Rudolph hung up. That's very sweet of him. For a seat, there were several executives with their sleeves rolled up, eagerly awaiting the end of that phone call. Sorry to keep you waiting. Have we heard anything from the States yet? Yes. You have a call from Dale Watanabe, the lawyer. I'll transfer it. On the whole, how's it going? Well, there does seem to be one unfortunate matter. It appears the other party has no intentions of withdrawing from the trial. Guess there's no fooling them. Please transfer it here. Understood. I'll do that right away. As the executive ordered that the external line be transferred to the secretarial office. At once, the phone instead of Rudolph rang. Hey there. Hello, hello. Sorry for the wait. Ushiramiya speaking. Thanks. How's it going on your end? Hello, President Ushiramiya. Let's skip the pleasantries and jump into the main issue. I've got good news and bad news. Which would you like first? Might as well start with the bad. I hate fighting when there's no dessert. Very well. The bad news is the other party is getting ready to prosecute. Just a few days ago, a similar trial resulted in the decision in the favor of the plaintiff. Defendants were just using roughly the same arguments we planned to use, but they were rejected in every case. I'm afraid to say it, but if we face the courtroom as we are now, it's extremely likely that each one of our claims will be rejected. So the trial ended up being a total bust after all. And I thought their position was even more solid than ours. That hurts. Okay, what about good news? I managed to contact the executives of the other party. I explained the situation we're in and told them we have no intentions of tarnishing their brand's image, and managed to get an understanding. They'll send their terms over in the next few days. If these are carried on, they promise to withdraw their charges. This is the proposal according to the number 2 man on the board of directors. Your impression? To be honest, I expect their terms will be extremely severe. We estimate that changing the company name and brand name will be inevitable. I think that we'll be able to earn some leeway by paying with the amount of the settlement money, making public apology in a major newspaper, and carrying all this out within a reasonable amount of time. They sure are making this complicated when they could just tell us to go broke. They only recently switched to a new president, and their groundwork hasn't been completely laid yet. If we resist until the bitter end, they fear the forces of opposing the current president won't hesitate to aid their enemies. Hence, the big shots want this matter settled as quickly as possible, too. Rudolph after naming his company Nintendo Disneyland. So we might still have enough leeway to get them to mitigate their terms if it'll lead to a quick settlement. Either way, are we still looking at a crazy sum of money? You need to be prepared for that. Even that would be much cheaper than paying our punitive damages. Thank you very much, sir. Please contact me if anything new happens. We're paying you the big bucks, so not all chit-chat. Thank you. Goodbye. Rudolph hung up the phone. The executives sitting in the reception seat seemed to have guessed the contents of that discussion. You guys hear that? Simply put, they'll forgive us if we can pile up enough money. Now all we gotta do is haggle over that amount of money. But President, the likely sum for the settlement Mr. Watanabe indicated is too much. We don't have that much of a margin. If we'd known this would happen, we would have started diversifying. Calculations were that we could escape the capital crisis if we managed to endure it for 3 years. To think we'd be stabbed at a time like this. How bad can our luck get? I guess we fell at the step of the hop, step, and jump. It's enough to make you cry. We have no choice but to draw money from the main bank. Banks are no good. They only bet their money on winners. The economy's improving, but we can't show weakness to the banks. President, do we have access to any funds that are unaccounted for? Funds we are unaware of? Quit it. Do I look like that kind of man? The contents of my wallet are totally exposed to you guys, okay? The account over there showed all our company has. In that case, we need to raise money. We need a sponsor that can draw several million for us as soon as possible. President, couldn't something be worked out with one of your personal connections? President? Ugh, calm down, you bastards. Let me worry about raising the money. You guys just keep the business running without making too much noise. Our accusers are saying they'll let us be if they can show them the money. We've already got the timelines in Asia. Things will probably be shaky, but we'll be able to maintain our current deals. Basically, if we can just bring the money together, we'll be able to solve all our problems. Just you watch. I'll fix all of this. I won't leave you out in the cold. Time to start getting your hopes up again. Once this is all behind us, I'll be rewarding you all with a champagne tower. Promise you that. So, shut up and follow me. Got it? The airplane suddenly shook, probably due to turbulence. Rudolph was jostled awake. He woke early that morning and ended up drifting off to sleep while resting in his seat. You okay? You sure you aren't still pretty sleepy? After all, it seems you've been really busy with work lately. Being busy with work is nothing to complain about, right? Once I've got nothing left to do, it won't be long before we're out in the cold. Good point. Not that even Battler's back, we could be looking at worse than just the two of us going around begging. Yeah, our family's all together again for the first time in 6 years. So, the leader of our family's gotta give his best if we're gonna spend some time alone together. When he looked out the window, he saw that the airplane had already started to drop in altitude considerably. The fishing boats, which had already looked like black cranes a short while ago, were starting to become clearly recognizable. If I could prostrate myself before Father and get 10 million yen every time he slugged me, I'd do it a dozen times. Or maybe you could just go and die already. I've already depended heavily on his... I've always depended heavily on his financial support, and now I'm after his inheritance. I'm headed straight to hell. I can hardly complain if Father doesn't want to meet the man I've become. At least he's, like, honest about it. I do like how frank and, like, honest Rudolph is. Could it be that once again you do not plan on making an appearance at the family conference? Nanjo looked at Kinzo's face, just sighing. Kinzo's eyes remained rooted to a strange book on magic. I have no intention of joining those vultures in their debate. They can discuss how they'll suck my bones dry on their own. How utterly contemptible. My, how troublesome. Nanjo shook his head lightly. To him, the children and grandchildren were lovely things. He believed that watching them grow was the only way to truly enjoy old age. So Kinzo's words were very saddening to Nanjo. If the time comes for me to leave this room, I will show myself, just as she does not show herself yet. When Kinzo raised his face, his gaze pointed at the portrait of the witch, which was respectfully displayed on the wall. Kinzo's mind didn't dwell for the moment on the fact that today was the family conference where all of his beloved relatives would gather. It was filled by only the face of the witch in the oiled painting, who never smiled except for inside the portrait. Everybody knew that interrupting Kinzo while he talked about Beatrice would trigger his wrath. Today I will hold a certain ceremony. And what might that be? Perhaps it is closer to a gamble than a ceremony. After all, magic without risk can never house a miracle. Nanjo had heard Kinzo say this many times before. You might even call it a pet phase of Kinzo's. Kinzo apparently believed that magic and miracles could occur if you gambled your own fate with a certain amount of risk and triumphed. I wonder what sort of gamble you're making, as the man who was once called the Golden Gambler, and now so old he might pass on at any time. The Golden Gambler is an awesome title. This should be well worth watching. I see. The secret ritual I've developed after much research appears to be of nothing more than a gamble to the one versed in magic such as you. Very well. If I have faith in miracles and win, you'll see clearly on this day that my research did bear fruit, despite it seeming to be little more than the process of my eccentricity. If you win, it will all end just as you've already seen, and nothing more than the eccentricity of an old man who might as well leave this world at any time. Just what sort of gamble could you be planning to take? As your friend, that bet of ceremonies you called it? I can only praise most sincerely that you achieved victory in it. Yes, thank you. Speaking of which, Kinzo, have you heard that a much longed-for guest will be present at the family conference this year? What? For once, Kinzo reacted to Nanjo's words and turned around. That's right, Battler from Rudolph's family. I hear he's coming after an absence of 6 years. I'm sure he's become a splendid boy. Oh, Battler? I wouldn't call him longed for, a guest who's failed to show up for a mere 6 years. After hearing Battler's name and making a disappointed and ill-humored expression, Kinzo turned his back again. Imagine those 6 years went by a flash for you, considering how immersed you are in your research. However, we might actually receive a visit from a truly longed-for guest. Everything depends on the results of the roulette. The roulette has already started to spin. Will it be rouge or noir? Tonight, let us enjoy ourselves and see what kind of miracle the roulette will show us. The payoffs are large, and I don't intend to lose. Beatrice, accept my bet. At that time, the telephone on the table rang. Piercing sound seemed to irritate Kinzo, and he picked up the receiver to preserve the silence as much as he could. What is it? I'm busy. Genji speaking. Everyone has arrived. What of it? Just serve them some tea or something. Certainly. I will do so.
Kinzo hung up the phone rudely. Looking at that, Nanjo sighed again and shifted his attention outside the window. As he is now, I doubt Kinzo would pay any heed to sort of guest. Could any guest possibly make Kinzo come out when the time comes, as he said? Kinzo had a single person in mind, but it was a guest that certainly wouldn't appear. Nanjo stared at the witch of the portrait with her impassive expression, unable to decide whether she was smiling or sad, and then gazed up at the lead-colored sky. Oh, Beatrice. Oh.
Hi, welcome back, Queen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Welcome back to Rokonjima. We hope you enjoy your stay and also survive. Hold on, I need to plug something in really quick. Oh my god, she's back! We love women! Let's go! Iconic woman of all time. She's definitely the woman of all time, for sure. I love you so much, Beatrice. I'm so fucking excited. Is this a convo between her and Battler? Is this finally... Here we go. Are all the pieces in place? Shall we line them up again and start a new game? Any objections from you? Nope, none. There it is, Battler! Yeah, let's go! Let's go. Oh my god, I'm so excited for the whodunit part of this. I'm like actually so fucking hype. Witch looked up at Shalink while elegantly smoking her pipe. And Battler? He just rudely shrugged his shoulders as if he didn't care what she did. He didn't meet her eyes, but that didn't mean he didn't intend to challenge her. It showed his clear determination to be never taken in by this bastard's tricks. It was an expression of his determination to fight. It does, yeah. Don't tell me you're jumping into this without a plan. I don't even know how you'll make your first move, so I've got no plans or anything. Go ahead and move first. Naturally, I'll do so. How shall I break down your defenses? How many moves will it take to checkmate you? This is where you'll see me at my finest. No matter what moves you come at me with, I won't believe in you. I really like this Battler expression. What the? I like this. He looks so irritated. He's like... Like the squinty eyes is really cute. It's actually very cute. As long as I stand my ground on that point, I won't lose. And that means this game's built in a way that makes it impossible for you to win. Perhaps you're right. However, I'm the one who decides how many times we'll hold this game. We'll repeat it over and over again until I win and you acknowledge your defeat, see? In other words, this is torture. An eternal torture that shall continue until you surrender to me. It shall go on endlessly until you acknowledge me and the existence of witches. Then I'll play your game endlessly as many times as it takes until you run out of patience. I've never lost in a test of stubbornness. This is so, I'm kind of like, ooh. Ooh. This is kind of, this is finally some good fucking romance. Finally some good fucking romance. Ugh. After all this time of dealing with Shannon and fucking George. I'm so ready. Oh, did a certain witch plant that idea in your head? Very well. I'm tired of listening to you ramble. Come on, get this started. Then let us begin. I already know all of your moves. A defense doesn't amount to much if the plan behind it is known. Don't think you'll be able to defy me with the same moves. Beatrice, I've got just one thing to say before we start. What is it? Go ahead and say whatever you want. However, whether I believe you is something I'll decide for myself. No matter how impressive this magic of yours is, my soul won't yield to you. You think this is torture for me? You're wrong. Then what else could it be?
This is torture for you. Someday you'll... Yo! Oh! Someday you'll surrender to me and give up. Until then, you'll be tortured over and over again. Oh, how amusing. What an entertaining metaphor. Torture where we are torment each other. Yes, truly amusing. Now this is romance! Yes! Yes! Yippee! Clapping with my little... I'm clapping like a fucking seal. I'm so fucking pleased. Come, shall we begin that torture? Assure me a battler. I'm like giggling. I'm like, ee-hee. I have like my hand in my... I have my chin in my hands. I'm kicking my feet, you know. Oh my god. Ushiro me a battler. Oh my god. Whew. All the scenes with those two, I have like chills. I get goosebumps. I'm like, this is finally a good fucking romance. Now finally some good fucking food. Marked it with a candy wrapper and immediately restored Maria's good mood. System. Save. Should we call it here? It is midnight. I probably should wrap up. I think that was a really good place to spot. I think that was a good place to stop, actually. Oh my god, I'm like kicking my feet. Oh my god. Hold on. Okay, well, I've saved. We can close the game. Ushiro Miya Batoda. I'm so excited. I'm like, I feel like I'm like a, oh god. I'm like, I'm genuinely, I'm kind of obsessed with them. Okay, we'll close this. God, I'm like, every time they talk to each other, I'm like, oh my gosh, and then what? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is really the romance, is Battler and... Listen, there is no greater romance than playing 4D multiverse chess with time travel with your romantic interest. Who wants to mutually torture each other with me? This is romance. This is what romance is. It's eternal torture. It's just Beatrice. You woman of all time. Love is suffering, and suffering is love. And torture is suffering. This really is the romance of time for sure. Oh my god, wow. I'm kind of obsessed with, like, their dynamic. I was like so, like, I actually really like Canon and Jessica's dynamic. I think they're really fucking interesting. And I really like Jessica. I think that she's wonderful, and I think she deserves to not be in the Ushirimiya family. And Canon also deserves to get the fuck out of there. Let them out! Let them out! George can rot, but we can get Shannon out there. We can get Shannon out of there. She'll live. She'll recover. Maria, we could get her out of there. We need to get Maria and Rosa out of there, and we need to just get them into, like, some family counseling. And they just need to, like, stop being Ushiromiyas, I think. Love is suffering, and suffering is love. And Rosalie said, never tailed to turn me for this long. Yeah! Yeah! They're like, she's totally like flirting in her own way. I'm kind of obsessed. I'm like, that kind of like enemies to lovers vibe is just I'm like, wow. Like, there's nothing more romantic than a mutually asserted destruction.
There's also nothing more romantic than promising to obliterate someone in a pact. And the other person being like, well, I'll obliterate you first, idiot. They should kiss while stabbing each other in the heart, I think. Yeah! That's the fucking vibe! That's it! That's the peak! The peak of romance! This is like hitting my like little... This is like hitting my little tune... This is like forcing my little brain cells to like... knock together, like, you know, what's the one, like, swing thing that's, like, the balls on the swing and they go back and forth and it's, like, the kinetic energy thing. Rube Goldberg machine. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine, but my fucking brain cells. It's so, I'm like, like, somehow that was way more, like, somehow that was way more intimate than everything George and Shannon did in the first part. I don't know why, but going on a 4D chess battle, mental chess battle with your love interest is really just like the peak of romance. It's just, mwah, chef's kiss. I'm like, ooh, I love you. They're on equal terms. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just, oh my god. This is what I live for. This is the part that I've been living for. I was waiting to get through all of that exposition and all of the stuff with George and Shannon to be treated. It's like getting shoved through into a locker. I got shoved into a fucking locker and like, but what was the metaphor I'm trying to make? It's like being like fed only like gruel and like oats for several days at a time, and then suddenly you're treated to a beautiful salmon feast, a beautiful meal of hatred for each other and also respect as equals in a mutual battle of destruction. That is the most romantic thing in the world to me. Like, if there's not a little bit of hate in there, it's like it's like, ooh, hi. I also just really like tragic romances as well. The fish in the aquarium have tested the ocean outside the tank's walls. That's true. George ignores Janet's agency and tries to deliver her salvation, but Battler and Beatrice, they are prying it from each other's dead hands. Yeah, no, they are gonna be they'll rip each other to shreds ad infinitum, but they literally, it's so romantic. I'm like kicking my feet. I'm like, they're like, I'll always deny you. I hate you. I'll never accept magic and witches. And Beatrice is just rolling her hair like, oh my god, yeah. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, sure, I'll make you believe that. Tiny man. Like, it's just so, I can't keep going over like this. It's just so good. I can't get over it. Oh my god. Like, there's just something deeply, like, what's the word? It's not like, what's the word I'm thinking of? There's just something like, kind of like, there's something kind of sensual is the word I'm thinking of. Like, something kind of sensual about like fighting each other to a mutually assured destruction that's very romantic.
There's just something about it. I'm eating this shit up. I'm like, wow, this is changing my brain chemistry in ways that I did not expect. Woo! Sus? Call me sus if you will. This is the pure form of romance. This is romance to me. If there's not, like... Would you fight the world for your beloved, but your world is your beloved? Yeah, exactly. I also just, like... I think, like... A lot of my... stuff is I'm just like, That last scene just gets me. It just gets me. I'm like, wow, how did you know how to pander to me directly in 2024 with something you wrote in 2007, Ryukishio 7, you fucking absolute madman. Yeah, I also have thoughts on Rosa and Maria as well. Their relationship is not good. Their relationship needs, like, Rosa needs to be, they need to be in a different situation than the one they're currently in. They need to get out of the Ushirimiya family. But also it's just like, that really kind of shook me, that scene with Maria, and I couldn't even read parts of it because it was really hard. That was really hard for me to read, actually. And I was warned about this, I was warned about it, but it's just like, I don't know, it hits really, really close to home. With how, like, it's just a little too personal, you know? It's a bit too personal. I'm gonna go back to thinking about... I also had to excuse myself the scene besides knowing it was coming. Yeah. I was like, I need to read this and get out of here. Hello? Aw, lots of people in this story need therapy. Yeah, everyone needs to fucking go to therapy. Fuck the generational trauma. We're getting out of there. We need to get them out of there. I'm just thinking about Battler and Beats. I'm just thinking about Battler and Beatrice again. I'm just thinking about them. I'm like, hee 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 hee. I'm like, hee 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 hee. You know? I'm like, listen. I'm trying to think about other ships I was really into that were like that, but I can't think of any that come to mind off the top of my head. Battler and Beatrice sitting in a tree. Killing. Let's go! Well, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But also, welcome in, Blur. Welcome in. We're talking about, we just finished up, we're in the midst of wrapping up. But we are talking currently about where we are in the story. We're just getting to the first day. We're on 2. We're on episode 2. And then we just had the face-off. We got through the stuff with Shannon and George and Cannon and Shannon, and Cannon and Jessica. And then now everyone's finally arrived on the island for the first time. For the second time, I suppose. First time for them. They don't know that, though. But, yeah, we just got to the start of the first day. Misha being the player character in the Rival and Ace of Combat Zero's game about jet dogfighting with their character doesn't speak. That's so fucking real. That's so real. It's like, there's just something about it. Because, like, sometimes, like, the rival character is just like, yeah, you're my rival, and but I care about you still. But I just want the rival to be just awful. We also went to school festival. We got to listen to Peton, Soro Peton. How can I make this Doomed Yaoi? Doomed Yaoi, let's go! Oh, obsessed with Doomed Yaoi. I'm thinking about them. Susalulu. That's a classic Doomed Yaoi.
canon best drip. I know! I'm like, I love the fashion of Umineko. I love the fashion. I know I read an article on the fashion of Umineko a lot when I was, like, first thinking about reading it. And, like, it didn't, like, have any spoilers or anything, but it had, like, it had, like, character design analysis and, like, where people think Ryukishi got his, like, inspiration from. And it's, like, one of my niche interests is Japanese street fashion and Lolita fashion, and OG style, and it's just like that style that Canon was wearing was so like it was a little toned down for VK, but like the high collar and the like red and black scheme are just so like early VK, I suppose. That would be like early 2000s, I suppose. Like back in the day, like it was way less. I suppose it would be more like aristocratic than anything. Technically, it would be aristocratic goth, more so than VK, I think. But then there's almost all of the Ashuramiya family members. All of their outfits are actually, all of their drip is mostly inspired from the Gothic Lolita Bible. I mentioned this earlier in the stream too, but a lot of the outfits on them, there's like specifically, I think Lambda Delta and Burn, their outfits are directly ripped from Gothic Lolita Bible, almost exactly. Just realized Susalulu. That's what I said! I was like, wait, Susalulu is like the original doomed yaoi. That's like a really good one too. That's a good one. I'm like, ee. Code Geass raised me. Yeah, I really love Code Geass. I need to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in a really, really, really long time. And the thing with Code Geass for me is I only watched the original series. I didn't watch any of the, like, stuff after the first, like, part. So, because I was like, I think this is becoming a bit too much for me. But like I was so interested in my little tiny brain was like, oh, Susalulu, that kind of hits. I think about the earring figure where they have the like connected earrings. I'm like, wow, what are you? Some kind of that's a little happy pride, everybody. Happy pride. Well, happy pride, you guys. Susalulu time. Least homosexual mecha show. That's true. I was gonna say there's another show that's also got gay people and it's also homosexual and has mechas. But it's less like, I think it's less mecha. It's not like full mech. Every Gundam, yeah. Every Gundam is like super. It's just like that. There's just something about piloting mechs. What was I thinking about? What series was it? My Hime. Another series that's really, really fantastic. It's not quite that, but like I still think about them girls, because it's also like a tragic story as well. My Hime is one of my favorite anime of all time. It's one of my favorites. That was my shit. That and My Otome was my shit when I was like middle school. I was obsessed with that. I was obsessed with My Hime, Sugar Sugar Rune, what other stuff was I obsessed with? Tokyo Mew Mew. I was obsessed with Magical Girls, Pretty Cure. Higurashi Naku Koro ni was another middle school love of mine.
I was way too young to be consuming Higurashi Naku Koro ni at that age, but I did anyway, and maybe something in me is a little fucked up because of that, but well, that's just early 2000s internet for you. I turned out fine. If anything, I'm a little deranged. I'm a little deranged, but like, you know. You watched Initial D as a child? Is that what corrupted you? I was like, what else did I watch? I watched a lot of Ojamajo Doremi. Ojamajo Doremi. Sworn. What's the other one I was really into when I was young? Pretty Cure was there. I didn't get into Idolmaster until high school. Toho Project was another middle school. I was into Toho before I was into Idolmaster. Vocaloid, obviously. There was one series I was really obsessed with, but I can't remember it. It's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll remember it in like 3 days, probably. Can anyone in their 20s really say they weren't raised by Toho? You can't say that Toho is not the most influential, like, media. Like, it's probably one of the most influential, like, indie medias of all time. But yeah, I'm just like, But yeah, no, like, in 2008 era was like the peak of like Toho. Cause like that's when a lot of Toho media. Did you guys know that fucking Tasukete Erin is like 20 years old? It turns 20 this year. Like, that's just really crazy to think about. And Cool and Create is still around. Like, a lot of the people that were making Toho stuff are still around. They're making stuff for modern franchises like... Insert Sanai image here. Yeah! Sanai image. But like... There's just so much, like, stuff with Toho that, like, for someone who's not really, like... I feel like a lot of kids nowadays don't really understand Toho. They're like, oh, well, is it like a gacha game or something? Like, cause like people associate games with lots of characters as like a gacha game. But like, classic Toho's like PC98, right? Help me, Aaron, it's still pretty new. No, don't say that. If we're talking old, Card Capture Sakura is 26? Yeah. It's pretty old. It's getting up there. It's getting up there. And we're not gonna talk about the Slayers. That was the other anime I was obsessed with when I was young. I was obsessed with it. And my favorite character, all of his merch is way too expensive now. But he was a formative character. Very formative character, unfortunately. But yeah, it's like...
Sailor Moon turns 33 this year, I think. Yeah, that's like crazy. Revolutionary Girl Utena made me trans. I think the thing with Utena, I feel like it's weird for me because like My Hime is like the first. Technically, My Hime was the first like anime I watched that was like explicitly gay. Like there were explicitly gay characters in it. I didn't watch Utena until I was in my 20s, and I think I feel like I'm glad for it. Part of me is like happy for it, for like not watching it until later in my life. Cause like I don't think as a child, when I was in middle school, I don't think I could have understood like what Utena really is. And like it's like there was a Twitter thread about it on the other day. They were like, "Oh, what is going on with this revolutionary girl Utena nonsense?" They were like, "Is this like queer baiting?" I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? This is one of the most influential like LGBT plus like also just like lesbian anime of all time. Like genuinely one of the most influential and probably one of the most important. Cause like it definitely like people like to it's the Yuri Trenches, yeah. Cause like the whole thing with it is just like it's about like the suffering caused by men upon women and the just the general like forced heteronormativity of everything and like how it affects like young women, you know? It's really it's a really like very like deeply emotional and deeply like very like upsetting work. It's wonderful. It's like it's incredible. I love it so much. It's like one of it's a big favorite of mine. I really like thinking of I really want to rewatch it. I rewatched it when I watched it when I watched it when I was like 19 or 20. And it was just like deeply like I was just like, wow. This like has a lot of like themes. We could watch the Utena movie in Discord. I don't know if I could dedicate myself to watching all of it, but I might watch the movie. If you guys want to watch the movie in Discord, we could probably set it up. I need to do some Discord modifications still. I was thinking about I was thinking about converting the server into a community server instead of just like a normal Discord server. Just because it's a bit more like professional, I suppose, and also you get a bunch of bonuses by being like an open community Discord. But I'll think about that for a little longer, I think. Yeah, hit me up and I'll help you with what I can. That would be actually awesome because like I'm so nervous about like messing something up and like deleting half the server or something. Because then it means I can make server invites that don't expire ever. But yeah, Utena is like, we could watch, the Utena movie could be really awesome to watch, I think. The Utena movie would be really awesome. What other things could we watch? Oh, I really want to watch, so I will cry during this movie, but like, I really want to rewatch Searching for Doremi. If you guys haven't watched Searching for Doremi, if you're like an adult, like, if you like grew up watching anime like I did, watch it. Watch it. Just watch it. I think you should watch it and like, just really like take it in. Even if you're not into, even if you weren't into Ojumajo Doremi, I think it's just like, a really deep hitting like emotional story, and it really like hits hard. I also want to rewatch Kiki's Delivery Service, but I'm saving that for my yearly rewatch in the actual theater, because I go see it in theaters every single year during the summer Ghibli Fest that they do every year at the theaters in America. So I see it every single year and I cry every single time. I'll never think, I feel like I was in like a really emotional state at one point when I went to the theater to watch Kiki for the first time in a very long, I hadn't seen the movie in like 5 or 10 years at that point. Kiki's Delivery Service is one of my favorite movies of all time. Just because like, it came back in like, because I was obsessed with the movie as a child, right? And then I came back to it as an adult and I was just like, oh. Like, oh. Wait. Why am I crying in the theater? Like, it was one of those things, I think like anyone who is like a creative and like, just generally like, does things they, like, just generally is just like anyone with like any sort of creativity or like any sort of like creative outlet or just having something you love and like doing it so much to the point where you get burnt out on it is, you should watch Kiki. I think you should watch it because it's just like, it's something like deeply upsetting. It was like deeply upsetting to me when I watched it again for the first time in a long time. And then I was like, wait, I was like, this is awesome. This movie is the best thing ever made. Like, it's just something deeply, deeply personal, you know? But yeah, there's like so much going on with movies lately. I don't really watch. The thing with movies is I don't really go watch new ones unless my roommate summons me away. And it's like, do you want to go see the movie? Do you want to go see this movie? And I'm like, sure, I guess. Cannot go to a theater by myself. Yeah, I think that's another thing with it, is just like I don't like going to a theater by myself. Like, I think going to the theater by myself is really like a sad experience, you know? None of the new movies really hit. I feel like that is like partially like the nostalgia thing. But like, it is partially like nostalgia, but it's also just like revisiting movies from your past that are also just like generally seen as like classic movies tend to hit a little different once you get older, you know? And especially like movies that I think that I really wanna, there's just too many remakes of old movies and they kill the OGs by making them into live actions. Yeah, there's something special about animation. There's just something deeply special about like animated movies. And just like the work and the artistry that goes into making them. Cause there's like a bunch of like really good shots, and like I watch a lot about like the last movie I remember seeing in theaters was the latest Eureka 7 one. The latest movie I remember watching was at ASIN when I went to go see the Iris movie. That's the most recent one I've seen, but that wasn't an anime convention, that was like a premiere for the movie. But other than that, I can't remember the last time I went to the theater to see a movie. I think it might have been last summer when I went to go see Kiki, I think. There's just something about seeing a movie in theaters. And then before that, it might have been Promare, maybe? Another banger movie. Banger. I know a lot of people are like, I know people came back to Promare. I know a lot of people were really into Promare and then they came back with like, actually wait, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so... They were like, oh, well, it wasn't that good. But like... been years for me as most of the theaters I've had just closed down, either remained empty or turned into car store or something along those lines. Yeah, the thing is like there's just not many theaters. We luckily have luckily there's like a lot of really good theaters in our area, but like there's like corporate theaters in our area, luckily. So we have those, but there's a few. One of the theaters, the theater that I first went to go see Kiki in like a couple years ago, like this is a couple years, like 5-6 years ago, when I went to go see it in theaters for the first time. I literally was like, hey, I like the theater was like a refurbished like stage theater, like. It's like a historical building that they refurbished into a theater, and it's awesome. Like, it's so fucking cool. And I think that it's really great. I really like it a lot. There's one non-corporate theater within 50 miles of me. That sounds amazing. Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know if it's still open. I don't know if it's still around. It's still around. Yeah. It seems like... Is this the right theater? Yeah. Oh, did they lose their old venue? Wait, did they kick them out of the... Oh, they got it back. It seems like there was some issues with it. It closed down for a while and now it's back open. It only reopened this year, apparently. I think it closed during, I think it closed during, like, quarantine. Plague years, yeah. Interesting. That's interesting. I'll have to look into it more. Look into it more another time. But yeah, there's just something nice about seeing, like, movie theaters in the actual, like, movies in the actual theater. But there is also, like, a different kind of vibe to watching it in Discord with friends, too. So, I do want to watch the Searching for Doremi movie again. I watched it in a haze at, like, 4 a.m. last time I watched it, and I just fucking cried for hours after. So, that was fun. That was very fun. I'll never forget that experience. I feel like a lot of like deep, meaningful, and like emotional times for me come at like 4 a.m. But that's the time you shouldn't be making decisions. But I suppose I like started watching it at like 1, 2 a.m. because movies take a while. It's also just like I just don't have the time to go to like the movie theater more than like once or twice a year. Cause I think, or wait, no. Wait. I think, no, I have been to the theater soon, like, kind of recently. This was like a year or 2 ago. I went with Teal. I think me and Teal went to the theater at one point to go watch a movie. I can't remember what movie it was. I can't remember. My memory bad. Memory bad. I have memory disease. I'm going senile, I guess. Since you guys seem to think I'm ancient for being eternally 25. But I think that like Umineko is like a deeply, like I don't know what it is about Umineko, but like there's something that really like resonates with me deeply about a lot of the characters in this story. I'm really excited to read the rest of it, just because it's just something deeply like emotional. Like there's something deeply ingrained, and everything feels so like particular, and everything feels really like intentional. I'm really excited. I'm still kicking my feet and thinking about Battler and Beatrice. I'm still thinking about them. I'm kicking my feet. I'm tee-hee-heeing. You know me. But it's like one of those things, you know? It's just like, oh my god. I just can't stop. Like, this sounds like a meme, but every Umineko character says something about the human experience, good or bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's something deeply... There's something... But, like, I think there's just something that, like, media lately hasn't really, like, resonated with me. Like, there's not really many pieces of media recently that have really resonated with me like Umineko has. And I think it is because Umineko is a deeply human VN. Like, there's something, like... deeply like emotional about it, you know? You could always do a second day of book club. Oh god, would you guys be down for a second day of book club? I can make a poll about it in the Discord if you guys would like. Or I can make a poll about it, perhaps. If you are interested. Maybe Saturday. We could do Saturday, maybe. Because I do want to get into it. I'm kind of, like, impatient. And waiting a whole week to simmer on my thoughts on Umineko is, like... I feel like it's gonna be bad for my health. 1,000 streams of the Golden Witch. Chapter 1 million stream of the Golden Witch. The Golden Witch has decided to stream the murders live on stream, and Battler can do nothing but try to explain on how this is all CG and wild effects. If you're excited about it, you might as well go for as long as you have time. Yeah! I might do it on Saturday. Maybe. My Saturday seems pretty free. Have I done anything on my schedule? I forget what my schedule... I made my schedule and I still don't know what my schedule is. I was thinking about playing Atelier maybe on Saturday. I might play book club. I might play more Umineko. I might read more. I know book club is supposed to be like a weekly thing, but like my schedule is deal with brain rot is outside of work. That's fair. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Cause tomorrow, okay, I'll go over the rest of the week schedule, and I can I'll make a poll on what we should play on Saturday, because I want to play Atelier. I was thinking about maybe drawing on Saturday as well, so we'll see what happens. If I play Umineko, or if I play Atelier, or if I draw, it's up to the cards for me. But all of the above, then I can't do all three. That's so much of an emotional whiplash, though. That's just so much of an emotional whiplash. Difficulty 9 from user Twitch Prime and surrender to the witch. I think that Beatrice would be an awesome VTuber. I think she's got the personality for it. This could all be fixed if this was done in if this was the modern era. Okay, so tomorrow I should wrap up. It's almost 1. I've been talking for almost an hour. Tomorrow we're gonna be on Parfait's channel. Once again, we're gonna be on Parfait's channel. I will ping you guys and link you guys to Parfait's channel on tomorrow. When we start, we're gonna be doing another day in the life of Goody Two Shoes. More little Goody Two Shoes with Parfait. It's gonna get spooky. It's gonna get scary. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be Friday night fun. Some spooky, freaky Friday, you know? Saturday, we haven't decided yet. Be so funny if you showed up with a Beatrice model. My Beatrice cosplay. It's getting pinged fateful. It's like getting flicked on the forehead. How hard? An average amount, you know. Okay. You'll be ready then? Yeah, but yeah, I think we'll see how I'm feeling. If I decide that I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should read more Umineko. Maybe we'll read more Umineko on Saturday, but we might just play Atelier or draw or something. Something relaxing. Because my Saturdays are usually pretty a little bit touch and go. On whether or not I'm actually available on Saturdays. But yeah. I'm gonna wrap us up though. I think I'm gonna probably wrap up eventually. But like, I'm gonna be thinking about this for the rest of my fucking... I desperately need to fucking yell about this series. I'm just gonna like... See, when I can't yell about it on stream, all I can do is like let it simmer in my head and let it just like... It's just like an eternal... More canon, Jessica, please. We're gonna get to that! We're gonna get to it! It's gonna be so good! I'm so excited to see, like, Canon's, like, arc in this one. I'm assuming Canon has, like, a little arc in this. Gonna be a turn for most Saturday, but regardless, can't wait till I catch the next Umineko stream when it's truly peak fishing. I'm so excited! Good luck at your tournament, too, as well, by the way. But yeah, I'm very...
Women.
What should we play? Where should we go? Where are we going? Where are we going? Which of my friends are online?
Women. Women. I'm thinking about them.
Bring Winnie Fable and Cameron to VC and start gushing. That's true, but they haven't read it yet. Parfait is like technically behind on book club, so I can't actually like... So I don't want to like gush about it because I want her to catch up naturally.
Oh, right.
It's Yoko's birthday. We should bring Yoko. Do we want to head over to Yoko? I was gonna send us over to Ashton, but she's been going for longer than I have, so... She's also playing Mahjong, so... Oh, she's only been going for like an hour and 49. We'll be celebrating BD. Yeah! Let's head over to Yoko. Yoko's playing Final Fantasy XIV, the critically acclaimed MMO, but we should do... So, it's Yoko's birthday. Do we want to do a special birthday message for Yoko since we're doing a special raid? Really quick before we do the raid, I'm gonna... Okay, I'm gonna make us a special... Hopefully I didn't fuck up my stream. I just accidentally locked my computer. Back to the RuneScape rot. No, not the RuneScape rot. Let's do this. Let's do happy birthday raid. So here's our raid message. We're gonna be using a special one today, so make sure to get that all ready. Let's do it! Let's do it! But I will see you guys tomorrow on Parfay's channel, where we're gonna play some more Goody Two Shoes, gonna play some spooky games. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Looks like they are up to no good, playing some Final Fantasy XIV, but we are going to pop on over to Yoko's place. And we're gonna wish her a very happy birthday! Her birthday's technically tomorrow, but have a great night. It was amazing, amazing juicy book club. I know, I'm gonna be gushing about Battler, and I'm just become really annoying soon. I get to become so fucking annoying. I've been so like, I've been so polite and well behaved. But now I'm going to start like biting people soon. So I'm gonna go feral and start going, I don't know, I'm just gonna start biting people. I'm gonna lose it. But let's see. Let's start this up. But once again, I'm Serum, local ghost train conductor over on the Gahan Express. Our next stop on the train today, our next station is over at Yoko Draco's place. So I'm going to send us over there in just 1 second. Thank you for stream. How can I make this about Umineko? Thank you for stream. Thanks, T. Thank you, T. Thank you, Zeros. Thank you guys for showing up for our weekly book club. I will see you guys tomorrow on Parfay's channel. And once again, it's been great. I'm so excited to play more. It's but I will see you guys soon. Once again, I'm Seer, and it's been great. I will see you guys soon, and see you later.